on 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake. It's Huntsville Hornet playoff football. Let's go to the stadium for the Advanced Specialties Hornet Nation pregame show with Jordan Smith and Brian Adams.
It's playoff time here in the Lone Star State as we welcome you to A-Leaf, Texas, just on the west side of Houston, Texas, for tonight's by-district round matchup featuring the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes and your Huntsville Hornets. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. We'll catch up with Lou Scott as the night goes on, our sideline reporter, as we welcome you to the Advantage Specialties countdown to kickoff for this first round action. And already, Brian, you take a look at this ball game. Obviously, a very tough opponent. We talked about it in last night's Hornet Nation Coaches Show. But if you're the Hornets right now, obviously not to discount the game tonight, huge game, but getting to this game alone is a win itself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the Hornets had an up-and-down season this year, but, they did what they had to do towards the end of the regular district season to get themselves into the playoffs. And that alone is a monumental task in Texas high school football. So my hat's off to the Hornets. But you know what, Jordan? They're going to have their hands full against Fort Bend Marshall here tonight. Absolutely.
A perennial team that is favored, and it was favored this year as well, to be a runner at the state title. A team that always goes pretty deep when it comes to the postseason. We've seen it over years. We've seen it in the first and only two matchups between these two sides. Obviously, the first one being the Missouri City Miracle that everybody remembers, unfortunately for us as Huntsville Hornet fans. But, it's the third time they're facing them. Third time's a charm maybe for Huntsville tonight?
Well, that's one way to look at it, right? I mean, forever keep the hope, and that's what the Hornets are going to do tonight. But you're right. They've played this team three different times, and they have been just wild ball games, all three, and I expect really the same tonight. And I tell you, the Hornet defense, they really need to come in tonight and step up, their game, because they got some talented athletes on Fort Bend Marshall. For example, they have two wide receivers that – they're over 500 yards receiving and over 10 touchdowns apiece. I mean, they can air the ball out. And then rushing the football, it's the same thing. They've got two guys over 10 touchdowns that can absolutely flat-out run. So the defense for the Hornets, they better be prepared and ready for a big ball game tonight.
Yeah, that defense is going to be spread around everywhere. Kind of heard Coach Southern a little bit talk about it last night. They run a lot of RPO. That's their offense. That's how they get the ball down the field. Like you mentioned, their main receiver in Jacoby Banks, a University of Houston commit just down the road here. He's a leading receiver in all of the entire district. He was their starting quarterback last year. The starting quarterback this year for them in Jordan Davis, he was the backup to him, and he's filled that role pretty good as well. Like you said, it's a lot of great players, a lot of high stats, a lot of good players on Fort Bend Marshall's side of things. Huntsville's going to have a tough task here tonight to take care of this Buffalo defense, but that's what the playoffs are for.
That is what the playoffs are for. I mean, anything can happen. You know what? You win, you go on. You lose, you're done. And both teams know it. And, for the Hornets, it's, they're definitely the underdog. But, overconfidence, perhaps Fort Bend Marshall could be overconfident. Hornets take advantage of that.
Right.
Any kind of thing like that can help.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that, that's definitely going to be something to watch for early on in the ball game, is to kind of see how each team handles the pressure. Fort Bend Marshall is going to be able to handle it just fine. I was talking with Coach Williams for Fort Bend Marshall, and we'll kind of continue on more of that as the ball game progresses. But he was saying that basically this week is playoff game number 2 for them. They feel like they're in the second round because they had to get a win last week to not only claim the district title, but really set themselves up in a good spot to potentially host a playoff game like they are here tonight at a temporary home stadium here at A-Leaf ISD. But, for them, they feel like this is round 2. For Huntsville, they had to sneak their way into the playoffs, losing 2 of their last 3, but getting the win as it mattered the most in the final game against Randall. So, back's kind of against the wall for Huntsville tonight, but not impossible.
Not impossible at all. And you're right. The Hornets do have their back against the wall. And that's when you have your back against the wall and there's nothing to do but fight your way out of it, well, that's what the Hornets are going to have to do tonight. They're going to have to be much more physical than they've been this season. And you start kind of seeing that towards the latter part of the year for the Hornets. They got so much more physical. They need to continue that tonight, because if they don't, Fort Bend Marshall is going to out-physical them, and they got big players. They've got to match up with these guys tonight.
Now, you take a look at the roster overall for Huntsville, expanding for the playoffs. A lot of underclassmen getting some experience. Coach Southern talked about it last night, having 68 players dressed up for tonight's ball game. Obviously, some good experience for the upperclassmen, and we keep hearing it over and over and over again for the future of this program in the next 2 or 3 years. This is going to be a very good ball club coming up, so having this experience helps a lot, even more so if you can pull off the upset of the century.
Oh, man, it would be the upset of the century, but you're right. You talk about getting experience. This is a very young team, the Huntsville Hornets, and they don't have any playoff experience with any of those guys that are starting. So that for them is brand new. But you're right, going into next year, just the success they've had so far has that momentum behind them. And as you said a little while ago, Jordan, they've got some athletes in those underclasses, like in junior high, in the 8th grade, and
right,
you know, coming up through the ranks that are super talented. And I tell you, this Huntsville football team is going to be talented for the years to come.
Yeah, it's going to be nice, especially when they bring in that shiny, brand new stadium they got next year.
Yeah.
That's going to look really nice, especially with a really good ball club in your Huntsville Hornets. You know, we talk about this matchup. We talk about the pressures for both sides. Huntsville, like you said, Brian, getting really most of these players their first bit of playoff experience, haven't been in the postseason since the 2020 season. Really, for these guys, it's going to be a little bit of cobwebs shaking off for a few of these senior class members in the first quarter or so. So they may start out a little bit slow, but as long as you can get stops on defense in the beginning, you're giving yourself a little bit of a shot to try to get your offense down the field, try to get an early lead. And the biggest thing as well, we'll talk about it as the game goes on, and I'm sure it's one of your keys to victory tonight, managing the clock, keeping the offense for Fort Bend Marshall off the field.
100%. I mean, that is, Jordan, I mean, that is a very good observation. You have to be able to manage the clock properly. But you also have to have what is called situational awareness. That's on those young kids, right? The coaches can coach, but the kids are the ones playing. So those kids have to understand the situation every down. That is going to be huge for them. And again, you think about it, you've got a former running back, now the starting quarterback for the Hornets. Okay, same thing with Fort Bend Marshall, as you just mentioned. So you've got some different dynamics kind of going on. And, you know, what I see tonight happening, I see lots of running of the football and hopefully not so many big plays from Fort Bend Marshall.
Right. Yeah, that's something to watch for coming into the ball game. 2,302 rushing yards, averaging 230, a ball game with a combined 31 rushing touchdowns throughout the season. We're going to take a quick break as we continue the Advantage Specialties countdown to kickoff. I had a chance to sit down with head coach Rodney Southern as we get you ready for Southern Talk, presented by Charlie's Used Cars, when we come back right here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Hey there, Hornets. I'm Stephanie from Advantage Specialties, and I wanted to remind you that when you need screen printing, export embroidery, corporate gifts, start with us, your local one-stop shop solution for all your promotional item needs. From design to delivery, Advantage Specialties offers the local focus to make you look great at the price you can afford. Short runs, big orders, holiday gifts, Advantage Specialties will find a cost-effective way to promote your business, organization, or team. So stop by and let us help you get branded. Sing 'em, Hornets!
All right, we're here for Southern Talk, presented by Charlie's Used Cars, as we get set ready for this matchup featuring the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes and your Huntsville Hornets. Coach, obviously a big time of the year. It's playoffs. It's a new season. You start out 0-0. I guess kind of just talk about the excitement coming into tonight's ball game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is obviously you get a chance to, you know, not everybody's playing now. You know, if you're fortunate enough to get in, and we were fortunate last Thursday night to play a great second half and get in the game and obviously get the win. But the biggest thing for us is the opportunity to keep practicing everybody. You know, all of our young kids practiced. You know, we're going to dress 68 guys tonight, so we've got a lot of young guys that will get their first opportunity to stand on the sideline in the playoffs. Some of them are nervous. Some of them are probably excited. And if we get in a situation where, you know, a guy or two or 10 or 1 or whatever can get in the game, then, you know, it just builds your program. And whether it goes 1 week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, you know, because not everybody's fortunate enough to play 15 or 16 weeks. You're down to a couple people by then. So Just we had 3 great days of practice with all these kids, and the excitement level of being in the playoffs is always good. Now, drawing the number 1 team in the state's not fun, but it's part of the process, and I think our kids will be ready to play tonight.
Now, kind of talking about a little bit the team kind of heading into the season, a lot of people kind of saying Huntsville doesn't really have a great shot of making it this year, but y'all surprising a little bit of people sneaking in at the end with the big win this past week against Randall. I guess kind of talk about the resiliency that you've seen through this football team this year.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, when you're young and as young as we are, this is my 21st year as a head coach, and I've never had this many young kids. And when I say young, sophomores, because to me, sophomore guys they're still in an early development stage, some of them are bigger than others, some of them are, we've got some 14-year-olds that are going to play varsity football tonight. So, I think sometimes it's good when you don't know what you don't know, and I think sometimes when you look at it and you're trying to build a team or keep a consistency in our program, when you have young kids or inexperienced kids, they're doing what you're coaching them to do. Now, hopefully your program carries you in the years when you have, and I hate to use the word lesser talent, but when you're as young as we are, we're starting a freshman running back tonight. So that part of it was, at times it's difficult because they're going to make those inexperienced mistakes, and you're going to have probably a lot like our game last week where you don't play real well the first half and you're down, and then the momentum shifts on 1 or 2 plays in the game, and you scored 28 points basically in the fourth quarter and a little bit of the third. So, that's the crazy part of coaching high school football, because we can't transfer them and go get new guys or get a guy who's more experienced. So, that part of it is actually, I think, will benefit us, obviously, in the future because of how many guys we've got. We counted Wednesday at practice. We're running around a whole bunch of guys out there, but there's only 18 seniors. So, all of those guys that were out there practicing, except 18 of them, are going to be back. So, it's exciting for the future, but it's also can be nerve-wracking when you have the ups and downs kind of that we had this season.
Now, kind of talking about in relation to that freshman running back, you had a guy in Giddens really stepping at the quarterback. He had to midway through the season with the injury to Taylor. Kind of talk about his impact on the season thus far, what he's been able to do for this offense.
Well, I think you go back to, Juwan obviously played a lot last year as a sophomore as a running back, and if you were to ask me if I had 100% choice, I would have probably rather been a running back. But he had also repped at quarterback, and I knew the run game, and we knew if we could get him involved in the run game. And then when Austin, got dinged up in that game, it kind of forced our hand at that point, and it also forced us then to start talking about, when Braylon had a great breakout game and then injures an ankle. So now you're back to, okay, what do we do? And we had been talking about Trayshawn potentially coming up, and I think the combination of those two is what helps. Now, tonight we got to throw the ball a little bit more to keep these guys off of him and keep the box, because they're going to put 8 or 9 in there if they can, because they're going to say you're not going to run the ball.
Now, kind of looking at the matchup here tonight against the Buffaloes, like you said, a top program in the state, winning their district, a tough opponent. Y'all have faced them twice before, both times in the playoffs, facing them for the 3rd time now. First time since before the Thanksgiving break, so obviously a little earlier than usual. Not as much stakes, but still a huge game nonetheless, with it being the first round of the playoffs. It's win or go home season.
Yeah, and obviously the draw. You don't want to draw the number 1 team in the state if you have a choice. We didn't have a choice in this because of where we finished and where they finished. But when you play in the playoffs whether you get one game or 5 or 6 games, you've got to find the positive. And, and I always look at, number one, we got a lot of opportunities to work a lot of kids, and we're going to play some of them tonight if the opportunity presents itself. And Coach Williams and I have kind of got a mutual respect, and I've got a young guy that played for me that's on his staff, and they do a great job of preparing their football team. And I'm sure they're on their P's and Q's because they got bumped the first round last year, and I'm sure they weren't real happy with that. But they're always talented. They're well coached. You know where they're going to be. We know where they're going to line up because that's what they do. And from a talent standpoint, they make it look sometimes a little easier because they are so talented. They're long, they're lean, they're athletic. So, we know we're going to have our hands full, but you got to go play the game.
And talking about the defensive side, obviously a tough task and a very high-powered offense, very much on the positive side of the point differential. Like you mentioned earlier, able to go against a tougher competition and have better results this season in the Fort Bend Marshall offense. What's kind of the key for the defense to contain the offense and give y'all a chance?
Well, the biggest thing is, the quarterback, the offense kind of runs through him. He's probably one of the better ones that I've watched in terms of the RPO stuff. Everybody thinks, well, it's a read run or a read pass, and they do some things where it looks like a read run, and then at the last minute, the quarterback either gets it to a receiver or a back that's either aligned in the receiver spot. It just looks a little bit different. And the thing that's misleading when you watch teams like this, because they're all long and athletic, their offensive line's probably 6'3", 280 to 290 across. The center's the smallest guy, but both guards and both tackles are big athletic guys, and they're almost foot to foot. So there's not a lot of gaps and not a lot of space inside. So our number one deal is when you get to the point of attack, we can't do it with one guy. There's got to be multiple guys there, and you've got to wrap these guys up, because if they get loose, they're fast enough to make a 20-yard or a 10-yard or a 5-yard gain into a 60-yard gain.
And as we wrap up Southern Talk here, presented by Charlie's Used Cars, Coach, main key to victory here to move on to the area round and upset the number one team in the state?
Well, the biggest thing offensively is slow the tempo down, take our possessions, try to maintain drives, and then when you get to the end of that point, you got to get points. These guys have been ahead in every game they've played. I don't know if they have played from behind other than the second game of the season when Crosby beat them, and Crosby beat them in overtime. And then defensively, you got to have multiple guys there, and you've got to make the plays and get the guy on the ground. And then, we always hope that there's one play in the special teams, and last week's a perfect example of that, a fumbled kickoff or a recovery on a kickoff, without a doubt, changed the momentum of that entire second half last week. So you look for one of those. If you get one or two, it's a blessing. So, but the big thing offensively is we've got to sustain some drives and get first downs, because that keeps their offense standing on the sideline.
That's Southern Talk, presented to you by Charlie's Used Cars. Coming up next, starting lineups and kickoff to the Bi-District round between the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes and your Huntsville Hornets, right here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
What does the 50th anniversary of Title IX mean? It means I'm valued, I'm empowered, I can do anything. It means I'll pave the way for every girl who plays high school sports in the future, just like every female student, coach, official, and administrator blaze the trail for me. Because every student deserves the opportunity to play. Encourage girls you know to participate in Texas high school sports.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Back here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake, as we continue our Advantage Specialties countdown to kickoff for the Bi-District round between the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes and your Huntsville Hornets. Brian, keys to a victory tonight to upset the #1 team in the Lone Star State?
Well, I think it's very important. You talked about it a little while ago, time management. They really got to keep their eye on the clock and keep Fort Bend Marshall's offense off the field as best they can. Keep the big plays from happening. And, defensively for the Hornets, they're going to have to swarm just like old school Hornet football. They have to wrap up and bring these guys down on initial contact. They cannot afford to let these guys break tackles and get big plays out of that deal. And then just move the ball on the ground. I mean, obviously, Fort Bend Marshall has scouted Huntsville. They know Huntsville loves to run the football. Huntsville's going to have to open up the passing game tonight if they're going to have any chance whatsoever.
Absolutely. It's going to be something to watch here tonight. Obviously, with these two teams going at it, about 10 or so minutes left to go before we get things started here tonight. We'll take a quick break, and we will bring you the Walker County Federal Credit Union starting lineups, and then we will have kickoff just on the other side of that, right here from A-Leaf ISD Stadium. As we come back to you right after this, you're on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Hey there, Hornets. I'm Stephanie from Advantage Specialties, and I wanted to remind you that when you need screen printing, export embroidery, corporate gifts, start with us, your local one-stop shop solution for all your promotional item needs. From design to delivery, Advantage Specialties offers the local focus to make you look great at the price you can afford. Short runs, big orders, holiday gifts, Advantage Specialties will find a cost-effective way to promote your business, organization, or team. So stop by and let us help you get branded. Sing 'em, Hornets!
Got the tunes going here tonight as we welcome you back to A-Leaf as the sun has set and the orange moon has risen just to our left here on this beautiful night.
Isn't that cool? Man, I got a blood moon working.
Beautiful night here in Houston to start off the playoffs as we bring you the Walker County Federal Credit Union starting lineups. We'll start with your Huntsville Hornet offense. Going from left to right on the offensive line, Micah Fisher at left tackle, the senior getting the start, followed by Chris Smith at left guard, followed by Cesar Robledo at center, Thomas Rose at right guard, Nathan Schweitzer at right tackle. Now we follow back to the rest of the offense. Matthew Tatum at receiver, as well as Savion Conte and Peyton Pryor, the three main receivers for this squad. We take a look at the quarterback in Jawan Giddens. We talked with Coach, as you heard there in Southern Talk, a guy who stepped in midway through the season and has filled the role pretty well in that situation after to take over for Austin Taylor. And, of course, the starting running back in tonight's ball game, as was mentioned last night, mentioned in Southern Talk, Trayshawn Brown, the freshman running back who in only 2 games in varsity played this season, is 7th in the district in rushing this year, so he has had himself a very good season for the limited bit of action he has had, as well as Braylon Phelps, the other running back as well for Huntsville. Let's take a look at the Buffalo defense. Starting from their back end, their secondary, Joshua Lair, the junior at the nickel, followed by Kai Guillory, the cornerback, Donovan Jackson, the free safety, William Mitchell, a guy to watch for in this ballgame here tonight, has 1 interception. That interception being a pick 6. Paul Lucas as well, a cornerback for the Buffaloes. The 2 linebackers, the Mike and Wilback, Ryan Simpson, the junior, and Jordan Sample, the senior Arkansas State commit. As we head to the defensive line, Logan Granville, the defensive end, followed by TCU commit Zachary Chapman, the nose tackle in Corin Randalls, and the defensive end in Darian Lewis. Let's now take a look at the other side of things here. We'll start with the Fort Bend offense. Anthony Chapman, the left tackle, as we move left to right across the line. Jaron Wallace, the left guard, followed by Robert Lopez, the senior, at center. By Sean Mitchell, the right guard, and Barrington Clement, the right tackle, as we move back behind the line of scrimmage. Jordan Davis, the starting quarterback. We mentioned the backup to now the #1 receiver for Fort Bend Marshall. Davis, now the starting quarterback this year, has done a fantastic job with this team. Alongside, you mentioned it, Brian, the star running back in Adrian Wortham, who himself has 10 rushing touchdowns in the backfield, has had himself a really good season as well. Jacoby Banks, the U of H commit, as well as Larry Benton and Andre Feast, the 3 receivers, and their tight end in Elijah Sims. as we finally move to the Huntsville Hornet defense. Let's start on the back end of the secondary. Jeremiah Winfrey, J-Bug. One of the starting corners, Claudio Alvarenga, the free safety. Cole Schroeder, the strong safety. Isaiah Collins, the cornerback. Shiloh Jones is the start of the linebacker group. The Will back, the Mike back. Tyler Pomeroy and the Sandback and Justin Engstad. Now we head to the defensive line. Sakari Carew, the defensive end, followed by Julian Casanova at the defensive tackle. The nose tackle, Jadarius Smith, and the defensive end in Zach Moss Smith, the nose tackle, as that is your Walker County Federal Credit Union starting lineups. We got about 5.5 minutes left to go before kickoff. Let's actually send things down on over to Luke Scott here as we bring him in on the broadcast. Luke, can you hear us?
What's going on, Jordan? I can hear you.
Awesome. So, Luke, kind of give us your perspective on how things tonight should be going. Obviously, a tough task for Huntsville, but what's your key for Huntsville to get the victory here tonight?
You know, Huntsville just needs to play their game. Fort Bend Marshall comes to this game as a huge favorite, but if Huntsville can really do what we do best, which is, dominate the offensive line, this is the senior group, this is the leadership of the team, so we just got to execute offensively, run the ball well, and we got to make some tackles.
All right, Luke, thank you very much. We'll check in with you as the ball game continues. Just about 4.5 minutes or so left to go before we get things started. Teams are about to run out onto the field to get things started. No better time than right now in the Lone Star State. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have kickoff to the bi-district round of the 2022 5A UIL playoffs right here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
This has been the Hornet Nation pregame show, brought to you by Advantage Specialties on 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake. Get ready. Exciting Hornet playoff football is next.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it has to be El Gordo Taqueria. You'll experience the absolute best real Mexican food. El Gordo Taqueria has plates. Also, check out their new deck. Dine in or carry out, now available. Delivery to you from DoorDash and Grubhub. Open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And now open Sunday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. For the absolute best authentic Mexican food in Huntsville, it's El Gordo Taqueria. Call us at 295-TACO. That's 295-8226. Try it once and you'll be hooked. El Gordo Taqueria.
The Whataburger Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger is an all-time favorite. It brings so many flavors together in harmony, you might wonder if it's greater than the sum of its parts. It's got 2 all-beef patties, both of which fantastic. Crispy bacon, love that. Grilled onions, melty cheese. I mean, who would say no? And sweet and spicy pepper sauce. Yes, please. I guess we're kind of partial to every part. The Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger from Whataburger. Just like you like it. Order online to earn rewards.
It's high school football playoff time in Texas, and your Huntsville Hornets are taking the field against an old foe, the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes. Bringing you all the exciting action tonight is your Hornet Nation broadcast team. Luke Scott on the Hornet sideline, Brian Adams with expert analysis, and filling in for Carlos Zimmerman is your play-by-play voice, Jordan Smith.
It's the best time of the year, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you to the 2022 5A UIL bi-district round of the 2022 playoffs right here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. Like you heard us go to Luke Scott earlier, we will have him on throughout the broadcast. And boy, oh boy, it's playoff time, baby.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, being an old footballer, this is the best time of year there could be. And the Huntsville Hornets have a golden opportunity tonight, get home their first playoff victory.
We now head down to the field as they get ready for the national anthem. And that was your national anthem as we get you set and ready for football to be played here in just a few seconds. We see you in the YouTube chat. We will have y'all mentioned throughout the broadcast. Like Deshaun Gore said in the comments, we cannot show video due to UIL rules and regulations, but it's okay. We're still having fun here at Leroy Crump Stadium here in Alief. We'll get to y'all in the comment section throughout the broadcast as the teams meet at midfield, getting ready for the coin toss. And Brian, you talked about it earlier, being able to manage the clock, but really the thing with Huntsville, you can't play more than what you usually play. You can't play more than yourself, because that's something that we kind of saw early in the ball game against Lake Creek, and that's one of the reasons why they had such a tough loss in that ball game. In the early going, trying to play a little bit more than themselves, and it unfortunately did not end up favoring up. They cannot do the same thing here against this team in Fort Bend Marshall.
No, they sure can, and the Hornets just won the toss, and they deferred to the second half. So Fort Bend Marshall will have the ball first. The Hornet defense is going to get their chance to go against that high-powered offense right off the bat. Jordan Smith, we're in for a wild first round of the playoffs down here in A-League.
Absolutely. This should be a fun one here tonight as we welcome into the Huntsville Hornet quarterback first quarter. The crowd is blaring. The band is jamming.
Well, these players on both sides are feeling it. I mean, this is the playoffs. This is what Texas high school football is all about. Get to the playoffs, win. Get to the next round, win. Get it all the way to the state finals and win it all. The Hornets have done that twice in their history, in 1980 and I believe 1953, 54, something like that. That's way before my time. But man, tonight is the night, and you can see the excitement on both sides. Players jumping up and down, getting ready for this kickoff.
The Huntsville crowd traveling well as the band files in as well. And we're ready for some high school playoff football. None better in the Lone Star State. 12 minutes on the clock. The Hornets will be kicking from right to left across your radio dials as Joseph Mejia will send things off and get things ready to go. Starting at the 40-yard line, ball is sent away on a pooch kick, and we are ready to get this one underway. Loose ball, ball's on the ground, and I think Huntsville has it. Let's see what the referees say. And it looks like Huntsville throws some trickery their way, and all of a sudden the Hornets start out with the football here to start the ball game.
How about that? The Huntsville Hornets do it once again. It's a very short kickoff by Joseph Mejia. The Hornets recover. The Hornets offense is on the field, ready to roll.
What a start to the ball game. You couldn't have asked for a better start if you're Huntsville, as they will start on the Buffalo 31-yard line, again moving right to left across your radio dials. Three receivers to the near sideline as we are underway here in this one. Shotgun snap. They'll hand it off to the back in Trayshawn Brown on the far sideline. He'll cross the 25 and get his way down to what looks to be about the 24. We'll see where they spot it here.
Nice little run around the right side by the young freshman, 14 years old. Can you believe that? Trayshawn Brown, a 14-year-old freshman, starting tailback for your Huntsville Hornets.
Besides being in high school, I can't remember what I was doing at 14 years old.
Exactly, man.
And off once again to Brown on the near sideline across the 20. First down and a little bit more as he finds his way into the red zone. The Nelson Amaya Collision Center, the Murray Insurance and Financial Services red zone as he's down to the 17.
Yep, Trayshawn Brown takes a handoff, goes around the left side, cuts it up the edge, picks up the first down. The freshman is off and running.
A great start so far here at Leroy Crump Stadium in Alief as there's three receivers on the far sideline on first down and 10. And off once again to Brown on the far sideline, just on the edge of the line of scrimmage, gets a gain of about 5 on the play as he's down to the 12-yard line. Second down and about 5 coming up for the Hornets.
Inside handoff to Trayshawn Brown, takes it to the right side, cuts it up between the guard tackle gap, picks up about 6 yards. Nice run there by Trayshawn Brown.
10:43 and counting left to go here in the first quarter of play. Three receivers to the far side on second down and 5. And off again to Brown up the gut, uses a couple of tacklers as he's inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. A gain of 3 on the play, third down and 2 coming up.
This is where it's really important for this big offensive line for the Hornets. They've got to get penetration. They've got to hold their blocks a little bit longer tonight to give these running backs and these wideouts enough room to work.
And they are going to get a very, very tough defense in the Fort Bend Marshall Buffalo front four. The defensive end in Granville and Chapman combine for 28.5 tackles for loss, and there's another one right there. And you can add to the docket for the Buffaloes, as that tackle was made by the linebacker and Ryan Simpson, his 8th on the season. It'll back him up to the 12-yard line, so now 4th down and about 5 coming up. And it looks like the field goal unit's going to come out into the field for a try.
Well, this is big right here for Joseph Mejia and the rest of the Hornets to get on the board first. I mean, they recovered the initial kickoff of the game, drove the ball down the field. They've got to get the points right here.
Ball on the left hash mark. It'll be about a 29-yard try. High snap. It's fumbled. Still on the ground. Fort Bend Marshall has it. And they've got a lot of green in front of them on the near sideline. Across the 30, 20, 15, 10. And Fort Bend Marshall turns a mistake for Huntsville into 6 points to get this one started. And the Buffaloes up 6-0 with 9:17 left to go in the first.
Well, that's what good teams do. They make you pay for your mistakes. The Hornets had a monumental mistake right there. A high snap. Fort Bend Marshall picks the ball up, and they take it to the house.
Unfortunate set of circumstances there for Huntsville. You had the chance to get the field goal. Everything was set up. A good drive in that first drive for Huntsville offensively. Just ended in one miscue that turned into a very costly 6 points. Now the offense is going to go back out on the field after this point after try from Miguel Diaz, the junior kicker. It looks like they're waiting to get a ball and get everything set here. 9:17, like we said, left to go in the first quarter of play. Diaz snap, hold, kick. And that one through the upright. 7-0, 9:17 left to go in the first. We'll take a quick break. Be right back after this here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Hey folks, it's Steven over here at Adams Furniture. We're your Huntsville, Texas hometown furniture store. Come in and see why we carry the top brands with great customer service. We carry brands such as Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Hybrid, Serta mattresses. We have the biggest selection of lazy boy recliners, double reclining sofas, reclining love seats. We have all American-made hardwood bedroom furniture, living room furniture, all American-made lift chairs. All this is in stock and ready for delivery at Adams Furniture. We are cheaper in the country. Shop local with us and save your money. That's Adams Furniture, 30 State Highway, 75 North and 10th Street.
At CSCU, we want you to bank happy, spend smart, and live well. If you have a CSCU debit card, make sure you're enjoying all the perks that come with your card. You Choose is our debit card rewards program that earns you points for every purchase. Points can be redeemed for cash back, merchandise, and more. Signing up is easy. Visit cscutx.com, click on You Choose in the quick links, then register for the program. You'll begin earning points for rewards immediately. CSCU. Bank happy, spend smart, live well. Member NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Back here in the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, powered by Walker County Federal Credit Union, as we welcome you back to the action here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake. Kickoff is sent away starting at the 14-yard line for the Hornets. They bring it up to the 28-yard line, and that is where your Huntsville Hornets will get things started. Again, moving right to left across your radio dials, starting on their own 28-yard line. And Brian, you mentioned it during the break. That's not what you can afford if you're Huntsville. You can't give up the big plays.
Cannot. And we talked about it last night at the coaches show. A couple of things to try to avoid. First one was the big play. And you saw what happened right there.
So now first down and 10 for Huntsville. 3 receivers to the near sideline. They'll hand it off to Brown again on the far sideline. Tries to get across the 30 and does just barely as he falls his way down to the 32-yard line. A gain of, it looks to be about 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6 coming up. Just under 9 minutes left to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, nice little run around the right side. Trayshawn Brown cuts it upfield and picks up 4 yards. Nice little running play.
Again, 3 receivers to the near sideline. The Hornets on the far hash mark. Hand off to Brown up the gut, and there's the defensive line right there to stop him. No gain on the play as they call for progression at the line of scrimmage. It's now 3rd down and 6 here in the Huntsville Hornet quarterback club first quarter.
Yep, just a simple handoff up the middle. Fort Bend Marshall did a really good job filling those gaps in. 3rd and 6, the Hornets somehow, they're going to have to start airing this ball out at some point.
Brown was effective in that first drive, moving the ball down the field. Like you said, they're going to have to find a way to go two-dimensional. They'll have the quarterback run this time. Once again, up the gut, and the defense is right there to meet them. They call a yardage gain on the play, but it's well short of the first down. 4th and 5 coming up, and Huntsville will have to send this one away.
Yeah, you know, the Hornets have notoriously started slow this year if you watch. I mean, every game they either kind of got behind or just kind of slowly started. And again, they're doing it here tonight. But as the game progresses and the season progressed, the Hornets picked up momentum. They picked up offensively, and they're going to have to do that here pretty quick.
Donovan Jackson, the free safety, is the return man, standing at about his own 38-yard line. As this one is blocked and will be bounced out of bounds around the Huntsville 40. They'll mark it at the 38, which is the original first down marker for Huntsville. And so the Buffaloes will have very good field position to start out on the Huntsville 38.
Yep, again, this is it's unfortunate for the defense. Special teams has really not done very well so far this ball game. And they cannot give teams that are number 1 in the state their starting possession on your own 38-yard line. You just can't do it.
So first down and 10 for the Buffalo offense. First time they've been out here on the field tonight. 2 stacked receivers on each side as the run up the gut won't do much. Wortham on the carry, a gain of 1 on the play. Good job by that front 7 of the Hornet defense.
Yeah, Sakari Guru, man, great tackle by the man from Finland.
Second down here, going to the outside, breaks one arm tackle, gets another first down, a little bit more around the 20, enough for the first down. As he's marked down to the 19 inside the red zone. Are the Buffaloes well enough for a new set of downs?
Yeah, nice run by Jordan Davis. Picks up the first there in the hurry-up offense, ready to go.
3 receivers to the near sideline, and now they're going to, the refs are going to kind of talk things over here a little bit. 6:58 left to go in the Huntsville Hornet quarterback club first quarter. First down and 10 here on the Hornet 19-yard line. 3 receivers to the near sideline, fake handoff. Quarterback thought about passing it, and Davis instead, he'll keep it. And the Hornets will stop him right at about the 16-yard line, it looks like. A gain of 3 on the play. As so now out comes second down and about 7. Once again, no huddle offense, 2 receivers to each side. Here's a quick screen to the near side for Benton. Finds the sideline to the 10 and is pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line, just short of the first down. Looks like they need 1 to gain.
Yeah, nice little hitch route by Fort Bend Marshall. They're moving the ball on the 10.
Head off here, up the gut, won't do much on the run from the senior in Wortham. The gain of a few, just looks like about 3 on the play, maybe 4, but it is enough for the first down. So now first and goal on the 6-yard line. Moving left to right across your radio dials are the Buffaloes. Fake handoff, quarterback keeper for Davis, runs to the near sideline, runs over a couple Hornets and bounces his way into the end zone for 6. 6:11 left to go in the first quarter of play. And the Buffaloes with an extra point away from being up by 2 touchdowns.
Yep, Jordan Davis, quarterback, just takes it around the right side, runs over a couple of Hornets, walks into the end zone.
Once again, Miguel Diaz in for the point after try. Snap, hold, kick. And out in a little bit of a line drive, but still through the uprights. 14-7 the score. 6:11 left to go here in the opening quarter of play. And Brian, let's thank some of our wonderful sponsors here for making these broadcasts possible.
Absolutely, Jordan. Want to thank Advantage Specialties. Is your one-stop shop for business promotional needs in Huntsville, and our good friends over at Charlie's Used Cars. Customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. In Walker County Federal Credit Union, if you don't know, you need to. Belonging to a credit union makes you an owner. At Walker County Federal Credit Union, you get all the things you want and expect from your financial institution, including low-cost loans, online banking, and more. For personal friendly service, you can't beat Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA. And Northside Baptist Church, growing people in Christ to reach others for Christ.
Take a look at some of the YouTube comments. Vicky O'Brien, go Trayshawn, so proud of you, so proud of Marcus Lewis. Both fresh, and you talked about it, Brian, a young squad this season and in this ballgame. Let's go Dre Sean as well as Stingham Hornets from Center Point, Texas. Glad to have some fans across the Lone Star State tuning in to tonight's ballgame. We'll get to more of those comments as the night progresses. Here is Huntsville. We'll have another shot with the ball coming up after the ensuing kickoff. This one a mid-kick that will be fair caught at about the 27-yard line, and that is where the Hornets will start their next offensive drive.
Yeah, the Hornets coming out for their third drive of this evening without throwing the football. They're going to have to start opening it up. They're already down 2 touchdowns, 6:11 left in the first quarter. They got to open it up, Jordan.
Absolutely. They have to find something that works, and it's tough to do against the secondary, but you've got to find a way to get past the secondary and get through some scenes. 4 of the 5 secondary members for this defense each have an interception on the season, so something to watch for here as the night progresses. Handoff once again to Brown on first down. Back to the line of scrimmage he goes, and I think they've already figured out the run game has this Buffalo defense. And they've got to find a way, like you said, get the passing game going. It's 2nd down and 10 now with 6:07 left to go in the first.
Yeah, keep Fort Bend Marshall honest. I mean, keep those linebackers from crashing the gaps. You know, make them think about it. Make them think about those running backs coming out in the flats, those wideouts coming across the middle. Got to keep them guessing.
Hornets moving right to left across your radio dial. 2nd down and 10. Brown to the outside, has the space, 1st down and more across the 40, and he's shoelace tackled at the 43-yard line. What a run from the speedster and the young gun in Trayshawn Brown.
Well, then again, you can give it to the 14-year-old and just let him get a 1st down around the end. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever you can do to move the ball down the field, and they've definitely done that here on that play. Right now, 1st down and 10 on the 43-yard line. 5:27 left to go in the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club first quarter. Quarterback keeper here on 1st and 10 by Giddens up the gut. Gets a few before he's finally brought down. They'll mark him down at the 46-yard line. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 coming up.
Yep, quarterback draw. Giddens takes his drop step, goes straight up the middle, picks up a couple of yards, brings up 2nd down and about 6. They've got to figure out a way. They did a really good job of that on their opening drive. They moved the chains. They stalled out in the red zone and missed the field goal attempt. They got to get down and punch it in.
Band alive and well here in A-Leaf. A option play on this one. So option it to Brown on the outside. We'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Giddens was hit right as he optioned it to Brown there. 3rd down and about 6 coming up.
Yeah, tough play there for Giddens. I mean, he takes a shot. He throws the pitch into Brown's chest pretty fast and, kind of just threw off their stride. But, man, huge 3rd down right here for the Hornets.
4:25 left to go in the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club first quarter. 2 receivers to each side of the line of scrimmage. Shotgun snap for Giddens looking over the middle. This one tipped, almost caught. Or was it caught?
Well,
they did say it's a caught. It's 1st down inside Buffalo territory. What a grab there from McCorrick Norman, the sophomore, getting it done on 2 deflections.
Yep, Norman, again, great concentration. First pass, and it is tipped twice, and he still maintains his focus and is able to catch the football. Incredible catch.
So 1st down and 10 on the Buffalo 33-yard line for the Hornets. 3 receivers to the near sideline as they match up on the near hash mark. Fake handoff to Brown, quarterback keeper in Giddens up the gut, and he will fall his way to the 30-yard line. Maybe the 29 they'll give him. We'll see where the spot is. But either way, a gain of about 3 on the play as they mark it on the 30.
Yeah, give credit to the big guys up front for the Hornets. They were pushing that pile, and Giddens picked up some good yards there. But it was for the big men up front pushing that pile.
3:23 left to go in the opening quarter of play. 2nd down and 7 coming up on the Buffalo 30-yard line. 2 receivers to the far sideline here. Quarterback keeper once again, Giddens, and there were men right there in the backfield already on the handoff. The main guy that looked like it was back there was the defensive end in Logan Granville.
Well, they're setting it up. I mean, they could use it right now. I mean, you're talking 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. They've been running all night long. Ride that belly, pull it out, hit your wide out on the seam. Man alive, I see it, big play waiting to happen.
2:46 left to go in the opening quarter. You could use that big play right here as they motion to the right side. Giddens on a line drive pass, incomplete. Intended target on the play, I believe, was Matthew Tatum on that one. It'll make it 4th down and 6 here And if they tried for a field goal, this would probably be somewhere around a 47-yarder.
Yeah, a little bit out of Mejia's range. Huntsville's going to go for it here on 4th down.
And in this situation, you may as well try to go for it because fact of the matter is, don't want to say it too early, but this game is basically your Super Bowl with the situation at hand, the circumstances at hand. And we'll talk about it later on in the broadcast. But this is a team that was not really expected by many outsiders to even reach the postseason at all. Here's 4th down, try, throw to the outside. This one's caught on a deflection. 1st down and more. Brown snakes his way past the 15, inside the Murray Insurance and Financial Services red zone, down to the 13-yard line for a 1st down.
Oh, my goodness, what a good play. Juwan Giddens, poised in the pocket, finds his little brother out in the open, hits him for a 1st down. Man alive, Coach Rodney Southern goes for it on 4th down and picks it up.
It was deflected right after Giddens threw the ball, but somehow still able to catch it. Now under 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter of play. 3 receivers to the far sideline. 1st down and 10 on the 13-yard line. Quarterback keeper in Giddens as he goes to the far sideline. He'll fall his way down to the 11. They'll give him the 10 on the play.
Yep, Giddens keeps it himself, goes over the right side, picks the block up by the right guard for the Hornets. Nice little run there.
90 seconds left to go in the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club first quarter. As Huntsville tries to get on the board here in the first quarter, that would be a huge break here to end this drive on a positive note. Closest they got earlier in this ballgame was the first offensive drive and had the muff snap on the field goal try to see if they can get in the end zone here. A stiff arm by Brown on 2nd down. We'll still give him a gain of 1 on the play up to the 10-yard line.
Well, let me tell you what, that was a heck of a run by Trayshawn Brown. Here's why. He's trying to go to his left. There is nowhere for him to go. Instead, he tries to just cut it right up the middle so he doesn't lose any more yards, and yet he picked up a yard. Great run by the young freshman.
This is a defense in the Buffaloes who has 69.5 total tackles for loss on the season. They have a couple here, but it has not fazed the Huntsville offense all too much here in the opening quarter. 2 receivers to each side here on 3rd down. Quick pitch to the outside, and Brown across the 10, trying to march his way down to the 5. He'll be pushed out of bounds before that to the 6-yard line. Not enough for the first. And at this point, if you're Huntsville, once again, you have to go for the field goal here just to get points on the board. 25 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Well, they're sitting there talking about it. Juwan Giddens is still out there. And Rodney Southern went for it on 4th down on this drive a while ago and picked it up. I believe they're going to try to go for it and get in the end zone. Jordan Sample, number 0, the linebacker for Fort Bend Marshall. I mean, that young man is a talent. He is almost in the backfield on every play, causing Giddens all kinds of problems.
Still talking about it here, waiting for the play on the sideline. The play clock has started, 22 seconds left to go before it's a delay of game, and instead they will go for it, like you said, on 4th down and 3 here. Quick option to Brown, goes across the 10. He's stopped before or at the line of scrimmage. Turnover on downs. That's the 2nd time that Huntsville's gotten into the red zone and has not been able to convert.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. You get into the red zone, you've got to convert. I mean, you cannot go 0-2 in the red zone against the number 1 team in the state.
So with 19 seconds left to go in the opening quarter, Fort Bend Marshall will more than likely just run one play and then run out the clock to end the first quarter. Again, they move left to right across your radio dials, fixing to be right to left as we are just about to switch sides for the second quarter. 1st down and 10 on the Buffalo 6-yard line. 1 receiver to each side of the line of scrimmage. Hand off to the far side, still on his feet, is the back. Looks like in Wortham. Doesn't get the 1st down, only gets a few on the play. And that will wind down the clock to end the first quarter of play. Buffaloes 14, Hornets 0. As we switch sides and put 12 on the clock once again. Back after this from the Walker County Federal Credit Union and the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
AB Squared Self-Storage is your local go-to self-storage facility that can help give you the extra space you need, big or small. From non-climate and climate-controlled storage to parking spaces for your car, boat, trailer, and RV, they have it all. AB Squared Self-Storage has 24-hour computerized gate access, around-the-clock security camera monitoring, no long-term lease commitment, and convenient payment options. Give them a call today at 936-755-5000 or reserve your space online at www.ab2selfstorage.com.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Texas, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network as we get things started for the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter of play. 12 minutes on the clock, 14-0 the score. The Buffaloes ahead of the Hornets here in this one, as it'll be a 2nd down and 7 to start things out here. Stack receivers to each side for the Buffaloes. Handoff up the gut. It'll be a gain up to the 15-yard line, just short of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd down and 1 coming up. Let's bring in Luke Scott now down on the sideline. And Luke, what have we seen from the first quarter of play from Huntsville? What's your assessment?
Yeah, hey, Jordan. Yeah, offensively, Huntsville's been able to play against the Fort Bend Marshall defense. Just defensively, though, a lot of missed tackles here early, and Marshall, or Fort Bend Marshall, is doing what they've done all year, is run the ball really, really, really well.
All right, thank you, Luke. We will go back to you during the broadcast here. Wonderful sideline work from you as always. As a handoff here, once again, fake handoff, first down a little bit more on the quarterback keeper from Jordan Davis as he crosses the 25 and will fall down at the 27-yard line. And Brian, this is something that we talked about leading up to this ballgame and even in the pregame show. He, along with Wortham, are the 2 leading rushers for this squad, each having well over 500 yards and each combining for 10-plus rushing touchdowns each this season.
Yeah, a couple of very talented individuals, and your QB and your running back, and they've been doing it all year long, and they're doing it so far here tonight against the Hornets.
1st down and 10 on the Buffalo 27-yard line. Quick screen to the outside. This one is caught, almost tackled by the secondary of Huntsville, but not going to do that as Jacoby Banks, the University of Houston commit, charges his way to the 39-yard line and a new set of downs for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, nice pass there to Davis to Banks. Picks up the 1st down, breaks 2 tackles before he's finally brought down by the Hornets.
Hornets have got to find a way to stop this offense. Somehow you saw it a little bit, able to get a couple stops here and there, and then just the big breakout plays. Remember, only one of those touchdowns has been scored by this offense thus far in the Buffaloes. The other one on special teams is that one almost intercepted, went into the hands. It looked like a Claudio Alvarenga, the sophomore free safety, just could not keep a handle on it as he had a pretty good time of the route there.
Yeah, Shiloh Jones also in there. Of course, he's got a cast on his left hand, so it's going to be hard for him to catch the football. But, man, that is something they need. They need a big turnover right now.
2nd down and 10 on the Buffalo 39-yard line. Again, they move right to left across your radio dials now. And we talked about it, the weather earlier, Brian. A beautiful 73 degrees. No chance of rain, clear skies. The moon now no longer a blood orange moon, but still a beautiful moon nonetheless, as it looks to give the Hornets a little bit of luck here on this 2nd down play. Run to the outside and the near sideline by Davis. Looking for a flag. There is a flag, and that should bring the run back. Is going to be a 1st down, but it will negate, as that was going to be in Hornet territory. It's now going to back him up for a 2nd down in quite a while.
Yeah, that was definitely a hold. You can see it from a mile away. Fort Bend Marshall grabs the jersey of a Hornet defender, pulls him down, and you're not going to get away with that.
The official call, like you said, the holding on the Buffaloes. That'll back them up. They were at their own 39-yard line. That should back them up 10. So it should be a 2nd down and 20 on the 29-yard line. Actually, it'll only back them up about 5.
Well, again, that's a big opportunity for the Hornets to push Fort Bend Marshall back. They've got to play tight defense, stay on those wideouts, avoid the big play.
10:06 left to go here in the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter. Screen to the outside here on second down. Big play from Banks as he will get the first down and just a little bit more as he crosses into Hornet territory on the 49-yard line to get the new set of downs.
Yeah, Banks runs in the flats. He's hit in stride perfectly. He's at full speed when he catches that football. Picks up the first down. Fort Bend Marshall again crosses midfields on the Hornet 49-yard line.
First down and 10 for the Buffaloes on the 49-yard line. Again, moving right to left across your radio dials. 9:30 left to go in the first half of play. Motion man is the receiver, looks like in Benton. He'll get the handoff on the jet sweep across the 40. First down a little bit more. Still on his feet before he's shoelace tackled by Alvarenga on the near sideline. But well into Hornet territory, down to the 25 are the Buffaloes.
Yeah, nice run around the left side. I mean, cuts the edge, and he's off to the races. And thank goodness Alvarenga made a great open field tackle. Had he not, been another touchdown by Fort Bend Marshall.
And we talked about it coming into this one. This is an offense that averages 38.8 points a game this season and 417 yards of total offense on the year thus far. They're a very productive offense as the Hornets are able to stop them for a little bit of a gain. Not much, though. Extracurriculars after the play. Davis getting down to the 21-yard line as whistles stop here. It looked like no flags on the play, though.
Yep. Nice tackle there by Isaiah Collins, number 3 for the Hornets. Wrapped him up, brought him down.
So he's second down and about 6 here. Ball on the 21. The 15 is the first down, and a timeout is taken on the field, I believe, by Fort Bend Marshall. Either way, we'll keep it right here during this timeout. And, Brian, why don't we thank some more of our wonderful sponsors who make this broadcast possible?
Absolutely, we do. We appreciate all of the sponsors that help make this all possible. I want to thank AB Squared Self-Storage Facility, your local go-to self-storage facility, and my dentist, Copeland Family Dentistry, wonderfully made, and Hartfield Floors, personalizing your events since 1957. And Mocha & Mocha Attorneys at Law. For your estate planning, real estate, or business law needs, call Mocha & Mocha Attorneys at Law, serving Huntsville since 1971. And Murray Insurance and Financial Services, an agency you can trust, and Climatech Secure Storage, the ideal place to keep your belongings safe and secure. And Frank Oliveris, Pinnacle Realty. Bring it home, Hornets.
Football fans, you don't want to miss the UIL State football experience at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas this December as the Hornets try to get there this year. Come out for an action-packed 4 days, Wednesday, December 14th through Saturday, December 17th, and witness the best teams in each division battle it out in the final games of the season. Ticket and all tournament pass information can be found at uiltexas.org as we welcome you back out of the timeout. 8:38 left to go in the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter of play. Huntsville down 14-0 here in the early going. Running play out of the timeout. Not going to get much as that'll go down to the 19. Just a gain of about 3 on the play. Looked like Jonathan Hayes, the junior, getting his first carries on the night.
Yeah, Jonathan Hayes takes a handoff up the middle, picks up a couple of yards. This is an important third down here for the Hornet defense. Third down and 4, I believe. And it's a huge opportunity for the Hornets to keep Fort Bend Marshall out of the end zone.
A big third down opportunity here, like you said, for the Hornets. Once again, another jet sweep. They'll fake the handoff and give it to the back. And Hayes is on the play. He breaks to the far side and is in for 6. A 19-yard rushing touchdown and a big opportunity there for the Huntsville Hornet defense was squandered away.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Jonathan Hayes takes a handoff, makes a great move. Hornets miss a tackle. Hayes walks right into the end zone.
7:53 left to go here in the first half of play. Once again, it'll be Miguel Diaz, the junior place kicker, to go for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick. And that one through the uprights. 21-0 the score with 7:53 left to go in the first half of play. We'll take a quick 30-second break and be right back after this here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams and our sideline reporter in Luke Scott. 7:53 left to go here in the opening half of play as we welcome you back into the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter of play. Your Huntsville Hornets down 21-0. I guess the number one team in the state. We'll get to the YouTube comments here in just a little bit as the Hornets fixing to get the ball once again, looking for another opportunity to find some points on the board for the first time tonight as that goes out of bounds, obviously. So the drive will start at the 25-yard line. Taking a look at the comments here, Jessica Ruffin, let's go Hornets. Number 7 is my son in Jacob, obviously, as well as Brian Bobino. Let them brothers run the boy.
Brian Bobino. Boy, he's a big-time former Hornet.
Absolutely, absolutely. As well as Latasha Lewis. Come on, Huntsville, Vicky O'Brien. Let's go defense. As well as David Jackson. Wondering if the defense is running a little bit of a 3-3-5. Actually, for Huntsville, it's a little bit of a 4-3 defense, in fact. For Fort Bend Marshall, they actually run a 5-2-4. Interesting defense there. Excuse me, 4-2-5. As the first play for the offense is Juwan Giddens on a keeper. And they will say he loses a yard, in fact, on the play, on the near run to the near sideline. So second down and 11 coming up.
Yep, Juwan Giddens just takes the ball around the right side. Not much room to run. Loses a yard. Backs the Hornets up. Got to figure it out. I mean, they got to move the ball downfield, move the chains, but they got to finish off the drives. And, you know, honestly, that's something they've had a difficult time doing all year long.
Right.
So, but they got to figure it out here.
Second down and 11. Giddens looking to the near sideline, almost intercepted. If that one was picked off by Paul Lucas, who it went into his hands, not only would that have been his second interception on the season, that may have been a pick six.
Yep, if he'd have caught that football, it'd have been a pick six, and he's wishing he could get another opportunity. Went right through his hands. Man.
7:39 left to go here in the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter of play. And Huntsville right now in a third down and 11 situation on their own 29 as they move left to right across your radio dials. Three receivers to the far sideline. Thought about a handoff and a weird little play there as it was a delayed handoff. The running back and Brown led Giddens, then came back for the handoff, and it was a loss of about 6 or 7 yards on the play. Did not work out there. So Huntsville will have to send this one away. What looks to be about a fourth down and almost 20 here on this situation. Buffaloes are going to have very good field position. Once again, Donovan Jackson, the lone man back deep, standing at right about midfield for the Buffaloes. Sets and readies as Giddens sends this one away. A little bit of a high end over end kick, doesn't go far, as that'll stop at the 35-yard line just about. Not the situation you want to be in defensively if you're the Huntsville Hornets.
No, you really don't. I mean, they're just digging themselves a hole. That was probably a 5 or 10-yard punt there by the Hornets, and that's just not going to get it done. And, again, you get Fort Bend Marshall, number one team in the state of Texas. Their starting field position deep in your own end, that's just a recipe for nothing good.
So first down and 10 for the Buffaloes on the Hornet 34-yard line. That's where they will mark it. Buffaloes moving right to left across your radio dials as they are up 21-0 with 6:54 left to go in the first half of play. 5 wide, 3 to the near sideline. Stacked receivers on the far side. Now a jet sweep for Banks as he moves to the near side. Davis, shotgun snap, looking back, has plenty of time as he goes to the near corner of the end zone, and that one's caught by Banks. His feet are in. And first play of the drive turns into a 34-yard strike from Jordan Davis to Jacoby Banks, his 19th passing touchdown on the season.
Yeah, Banks runs a go route on the left side. He beats his man. And Davis just throws the perfect pass in the corner of the end zone. And now your Hornets are down by 4 touchdowns here in this first half.
There's going to be a lot of adjusting in the halftime locker room for these Huntsville Hornets. Snap, hold, kick. Almost blocked there on the extra point attempt, but does go through the uprights regardless. 28-0 is the score here. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Be right back after this for the rest of the first half, right here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Hi, I'm Karen Denman, Senior Loan Officer at Walker County Federal Credit Union. There are always things we'd all like to do right now if we just had a way to do them. Well, our low loan rates can help make your life easier. Maybe you'd like to take a vacation, buy that bike you've been eyeing, or even pay for a wedding or college. We will do our best to help you make it happen. Give us a call or come by our office on Normal Park Drive. You can even apply online at walkercountyfcu.com. Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Back here in the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union, as we welcome you back to the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter of play. Huntsville down 28-0 with 6:43 left to go in the first half. And Brian, obviously just not the situation you want to be in. If you're any team, regardless of Huntsville or not, any team, you don't want to be down 4 touchdowns in the first half.
No, you sure don't. This is obviously the worst case scenario. We knew they were good, but you can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Pooch kick will go to the 22-yard line. Huntsville will start the return there. Slips one tackle, almost does the return man for Huntsville on the play. And that will be where we start the drive, right at about, looks like the 40-yard line, I think, is where they're going to mark it.
Yeah, a little short kick to Melton Green III. Nice little return. Gives the Hornets pretty good field position to start this drive out. But, Jordan, I tell you, man, it's already critical. The Hornets have to do something to stop the bleeding.
Melton Green III, the one on the return there. As first down and 10. Starts the drive on their own 38-yard line. 2 receivers to each side. They'll run the ball up the gut again, with Trayshawn Brown up to the 40-yard line for a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
Yep, just a simple handoff. Trayshawn Brown over the left side, picks up a couple of yards, and still the Hornets are not opening up the passing game. They're relying on the run, and they've got to figure it out, because what they're doing is not working at the moment.
6:10 left to go here in this first half of play. Coming up in the Northside Baptist Church halftime show, we'll go over first half analysis, keys to second half as well as Hornets Nest coming up in just a few minutes' time, as well as right before halftime begins. We will have our halftime interview with head coach Rodney Souther, brought to you by Luke Scott.
Nice little catch out in the flats by Braylon Phelps. Glad to see him back. He's been out the last couple of weeks, and he is a very talented young sophomore. Nice little catch out in the flats.
It's a gain of about 5 on the play or so, actually 3 on the play. So 3rd down and 5 coming up here for the Hornets as they sit on their own 43-yard line. 3 receivers to the near sideline as they look to the far sideline for the audible change from the Huntsville coaching staff. Shotgun snap for Giddens. Goes over the middle. This one caught on a bit of a soft pass there to Braylon Phelps. Doesn't get much on the play. In fact, the refs say no gain on the play. So 4th down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, Braylon Phelps running about a 3 to 4 yard crossing pattern. They hit him in stride, but brought down immediately. Again, another 4th down opportunity here for the Hornets, and they're going to stay out there and try to convert.
They have to in this situation, down 4 touchdowns. Here comes Huntsville once again, and they're going to actually punt it here. Looked like a 4th down, go for it. Instead, it goes out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, and that is where the Buffaloes will start this drive with about 4:41 left to go here in the first half. Brian, why don't we thank some more of our wonderful sponsors?
Absolutely. We want to thank University Heights Baptist Church, cultivating people who make Jesus known through the lives we live and the conversations we have. In Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club, feel the sting, and Hit Solutions, we bring you home.
So 1st down and 10 on the Buffalo 37-yard line. They move right to left across your radio dials. Again, up 28-0. 4:41 left to go here in the first half of play. Two receivers to the far sideline here on first down. Two men with the quarterback on the shotgun play. Handoff to the back. Looked like in Jonathan Hayes. Gain up to the 40 for 3 yards.
Yeah, Buffalo's just handed straight up the middle, pick up a couple 3 yards on the carry. We have a Hornet currently down on the field right there about the 40-yard line on the near side.
And we'll go ahead and take a quick break. 4:29 left to go in the first half. Back after this here in the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network in 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Huntsville ISD is the best place for children to be. We offer a full-day pre-K center to advanced career and college options, along with a variety of extracurricular activities and award-winning fine arts, band and athletics programs, an excellent child nutrition and bus transportation services, bilingual ESL and GT programs, special education services, and a career and technical education program that provides multiple certification and licensing options for students. Visit huntsville-isd.org. It's a great day to be a Hornet. We're building champions, everyone, every day.
Murphy's Cafe in New Waverly is open for breakfast at 7:30 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Get a great start to your day. Chicken fried steaks, chicken fried chicken, and hamburger steaks. Or go lighter with salads. Go for Taco Tuesday and Fish Fridays. Lunch starts at 11. Private dining room or catering available. Dine in, curbside pickup, or to-go orders. 936-439-5039. Murphy's Cafe in New Waverly, 315 FM 1375. Check them out on Facebook. Home of the world-famous Hootie Burger and proud supporters of the Hornets and Bulldogs.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. 28-0 the score. 4:18 left to go in the first half of play. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. Luke Scott down on the sideline. 2nd down and 7 coming up out of the timeout on the 40-yard line. A option play to Jacoby Banks. We'll see him head on over to what looks to be the 46-yard line.
Yeah, nice little run around the left side. It was a pitch, but it was one of those plays Coach Rodney Southern talked about. It kind of a misdirection, and Jacoby Banks picks up he's a yard shy of the first down. Great run around the left side.
3rd down and 1. Let's see if Huntsville can get the stop here. They need the stop. You talked about it earlier, Brian. They needed the big stop down earlier on a couple of drives ago. Did not work out in their favor. This time a quarterback keeper. It'll be 1st down a little bit more inside Hornet territory as he crosses the 50. Does the quarterback in Jordan Davis. And he's brought down at the 45-yard line. New set of downs for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, Jordan Davis keeps it himself, takes it around the left side, picks up more than he needed. They're moving the chains. And again, they're just being methodical here, running the ball, picking up the first, moving the chains.
1st and 10 on the 45, 3:43 and counting left to go in the Diana K. Barn State Farm Insurance Agent 2nd quarter of play. And right now, the Buffaloes taking their time. They don't really need a rush here. Up by 4 touchdowns, 7 seconds left to go on the play clock. 2 receivers to the near sideline on the near hash mark. Now motion man on the far side as the shotgun snap to Davis. Once again, near corner. That one just out of the reach of the intended target in Jacaden Ferguson, the sophomore receiver. And it's now 2nd down.
Yeah, I mean, Jacaden Ferguson's running a go route over here on the near sidelines, and he is wide open. I mean, the nearest Hornet was about 15 yards away, and Davis just barely overthrows him, or that would have been another touchdown.
2nd down and 10 here for the Buffalo offense. 2 receivers to each side. Now a man in motion in Banks. Quick screen to the far sideline for him as he tries to get through the Huntsville defense and does. Not before he gets just a few yards shy of the 1st down. A gain is 7 on the play.
Yeah, nice little pass out in the flats. Davis to Banks. Hits him in stride. As soon as he cuts upfield, the ball is in his hands. They've got that play down pretty good.
Now a 3rd down and 3 situation here. The Buffaloes need to get to the Huntsville 35-yard line. Again, moving right to left across your radio dials. 3 receivers to the near side. Once again, Banks in motion off a jet sweep. And he'll get the handoff on the far sideline just past the 1st down marker. Gain of 4 on the play and a new set of downs for the Buffaloes.
Nice tackle by Cole Schroeder. The Hornet strong safety there. They do pick up the first down, but nice tackle there by Schroeder.
2:25 left to go in the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance second quarter of play. Buffalo's still up 28-0 here in this one as they start a new set of downs. 1st and 10, just about 14 yards away from the red zone as they sit on the Huntsville 34-yard line. 3 receivers to the near sideline. Shotgun here for the quarterback in Davis. He gets a snap, looks around, pressure in front of him. He'll have to escape the pocket. Has some legs on him as he gets tackled inside the red zone and down to the 19 for a new set of downs.
Yeah, Jordan Davis drops back to pass, and he's got plenty of time. He goes through his progressions, can't find anybody open, takes it upon himself to go around the left side, picks up yet another first down for Fort Bend Marshall.
1.5 left to go here. Again, Northside Baptist Church halftime show coming up. We'll take a look at the first half. We'll have our Hornets Nest segment and our halftime adjustments with Brian Adams, all coming up on the Northside Baptist Church halftime show. Quick screen to the near side on 1st down and 10 is caught by Banks, and he's tackled, not before a dive, though, as he gets to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, nice little hitch pass over here to the near side. Catches the ball, picks up a couple of yards. Again, just kind of getting closer and closer to the end zone.
2nd down and about 3 coming up here. Again, the Buffaloes in the red zone. Moving right to left across your radio dials. Less than a minute left to go in the first half. Quick screen to the far sideline. This one caught by Larry Benton. Tries to go around a defender, won't do so. That's a good job by the Huntsville defense to stop him, but right at the first down marker. It looked like Cole Schroeder was right there on the stop.
Yeah, nice catch there by Benton. That's the first time we've called his name tonight for Fort Bend Marshall, and they did pick up that first down. So the chains will be laid down, and here we go.
Goal to go situation here. 1st and goal on the 8-yard line. Davis has time pressure in his face, though, but he'll get the pass off for an 8-yard touchdown to extend the lead now. And the Buffalo's almost up by 5 scores.
Yeah, well, they are just dominating the Hornets here tonight. Jeremiah Winfrey on the coverage. Nice route run by Fort Bend Marshall. They're in the back of the end zone. They run all the way across the field. Banks does a great job. Davis does a great job getting it into his wide receiver.
Snap, hold, kick. And that one through the uprights on the attempt from Miguel Diaz. 35-0 the score here with 27 seconds left to go in this first half of play. And Brian, why don't we thank some more of our wonderful sponsors?
Absolutely. We want to thank University Hotel. University Hotel is located in the heart of Huntsville and the beautiful and historic campus of Sam Houston State University. Enjoy the convenience and comforts on-site accommodation for visits with family members and athletic events, as well as conferences, meetings, seminars, or special events. Visit shsuhotel.org. And Adams Furniture, we beat big city prices. And Bill Fick Ford, no bull, just good deals. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, because everyone deserves to be remembered. And Community Service Credit Union, now serving Walker, Madison, Trinity, and some parts of San Jacinto counties.
Teams return to the field here. 27 seconds left to go in the Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent second quarter of play. Huntsville will have one more snap if they even do run a play, if they don't just knee the ball and try to recover for the second half.
Yeah, they're going to go in at halftime, and obviously they're going to get with their position coaches and talk about the first half, and they need to make some major changes here coming out in the second half.
Diaz sends it away. He returns starting at about the 23-yard line for Huntsville. Far sideline, not able to get far. Only to the 30-yard line does Huntsville. And that is where the final 21 seconds will be played out for the Hornets on their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, I probably anticipate them running one more play, Jordan, and with 21 seconds left, maybe take it into halftime, kind of regroup, come back out, play some Hornet football in the second half.
Waiting for the play on the sideline are the Hornets as they move left to right across your radio dials. 3 receivers to the near sideline. Giddens in the shotgun for Huntsville. Gets the snap and will hand it off to Trayshawn Brown on the far near sideline. Tries to get around a blocker in Tatum. And not able to get far, only to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, nice play there by Fort Bend Marshall to string that play out. Trayshawn Brown tries to cut it up the right side, never can get the corner. Nice defense there by Fort Bend Marshall.
The clock will wind out here, and in just a little bit, we will head down to the field with Luke Scott for our halftime interview with head coach Rodney Southern. 35-0. The score currently here in this one. The Buffaloes ahead in this ball game. Obviously just not the first half you want if you are Huntsville right now against this #1 team in the state of Texas. And I believe we have Luke here down on the sideline. Luke, you got it?
Yes, sir. Coach 0 for 2 in the red zone offensively. A bad snap there start, but a good start with the kick, but not much after that. What needs to change to get back in this ball game?
Well, obviously in the red zone, we can't have a bad snap, and when we get down there, you've got to get points, and we didn't get points either time. So, and they're too talented. We knew that. So, when you get those opportunities, we've got to take advantage of them.
Coach, last week you're in a similar situation coming back from the second half, and the defense hasn't played to its expectation, missing all the tackles. What's got to change defensively?
Well, I don't know if you change. We just got to be better at what we do. We don't have enough guys at the point of attack, and then that's a hell of a throw on the deep ball. I mean, that's as pretty as you can throw it. We weren't in good position, but Isaiah's running. So, we just got to play, settle down, and keep doing what we're doing, but just make some plays, especially when we get in the red zone.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Jordan, back to you.
Thank you, Luke. Great work, as always, down on the sideline. Appreciate your work throughout this season as we head into the Northside Baptist Church halftime show. When we come back, Brian and I will recap the first half of things here in this 35-0 lead so far for the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes. Back here after this on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union at 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
I'm Jerry Larson at Reliable Auto Parts, your auto parts plus store in Huntsville, Texas, having great products, excellent quality, and outstanding prices. This is what you can expect from Reliable Parts, where you can purchase all your car care products, maintenance supplies, and auto parts. Our services and in-house store offerings are designed to keep your vehicle and motorized machine in proper working condition. Reliable Parts, your auto parts store, 1011 11th Street, Huntsville, 295-5747.
AB Squared Self-Storage is your local go-to self-storage facility that can help give you the extra space you need, big or small. From non-climate and climate-controlled storage to parking spaces for your car, boat, trailer, and RV, they have it all. AB Squared Self-Storage has 24-hour computerized gate access, around-the-clock security camera monitoring, no long-term lease commitment, and convenient payment options. Give them a call today at 936-755-5000 or reserve your space online at www.ab2selfstorage.com.
Huntsville ISD is the best place for children to be. We offer a full-day pre-K center to advanced career and college options, along with a variety of extracurricular activities and award-winning fine arts, band and athletics programs, an excellent child nutrition and bus transportation services, bilingual ESL and GT programs, special education services, and a career and technical education program that provides multiple certification and licensing options for students. Visit huntsville-isd.org. It's a great day to be a Hornet. We're building champions, everyone, every day.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Hi, I'm Karen Denman with Walker County Federal Credit Union, and it's the time for Texans to enjoy the great outdoors. If you're in the market for a newer used RV or ATV, call or come by Walker County Federal Credit Union and find out how you can hit the open road or even the road less traveled. We have low rates, refinancing available, and you can even apply online if you'd like. Or you can drop by our office on Normal Park Drive, and we'll be happy to help you in person. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it has to be El Gordo Taqueria. You'll experience the absolute best real Mexican food. El Gordo Taqueria has plates. Also, check out their new deck. Dine in or carry out, now available. Delivery to you from DoorDash and Grubhub. Open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And now open Sunday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. For the absolute best authentic Mexican food in Huntsville, it's El Gordo Taqueria. Call us at 295-TACO. That's 295-8226. Try it once and you'll be hooked. El Gordo Taqueria.
The Whataburger Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger is an all-time favorite. It brings so many flavors together in harmony, you might wonder if it's greater than the sum of its parts. It's got 2 all-beef patties, both of which fantastic. Crispy bacon, love that. Grilled onions, melty cheese. I mean, who would say no? And sweet and spicy pepper sauce. Yes, please. I guess we're kind of partial to every part. The Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger from Whataburger, just like you like it. Order online to earn rewards.
I'm Jerry Larson at Reliable Auto Parts, your auto parts plus store in Huntsville, Texas, having great products, excellent quality, and outstanding prices. This is what you can expect from Reliable Parts, where you can purchase all your car care products, maintenance supplies, and auto parts. Our services and in-house store offerings are designed to keep your vehicle and motorized machine in proper working condition. Reliable Parts, your auto parts store, 1011 11th Street, Huntsville, 295-5747.
Hey folks, it's Steven over here at Adams Furniture. We're your Huntsville, Texas hometown furniture store. Come in and see why we carry the top brands with great customer service. We carry brands such as Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Hybrid, Serta mattresses. We have the biggest selection of Lazy Boy recliners, double reclining sofas, reclining love seats. We have all American-made hardwood bedroom furniture, living room furniture, all American-made lift chairs. All this is in stock and ready for delivery at Adams Furniture. We are cheaper in the country. Shop local with us and save your money. That's Adams Furniture, 30 State Highway, 75 North and 10th Street.
It's the Hornets Halftime Show, brought to you by Northside Baptist Church. For stats and analysis of the first half, let's return to the booth with Jordan Smith and Brian Adams.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, a 35-0 lead for the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes here at halftime as we welcome you to the Northside Baptist Halftime Show. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. And Brian, we talked about it before we came on here for the halftime show. Huntsville had opportunities in the beginning of the ball game. They had the opportunity to get the field goal, muff snap, return for a touchdown. They had another opportunity to score or at least keep the drive going with that 4th down and 3 situation inside the 10. Just couldn't get it done and just snowballed from there.
Yeah, it kind of almost looks exactly like the game last week against Randall. You know, I mean, it was all Randall in the first half. And again, it's been all Fort Bend Marshall here in the first half for the Hornets. And you're right, Jordan, to your point, the Hornets had a golden opportunity to get on the board first. And with a bad snap and the ensuing run all the way back to the other end of the end zone and put points on the board, man, that is a momentum killer to say the least. And, you know, after that, it just seems like things have just kind of spiraled out of control for the Hornets. I mean, the tackling has not been that great so far in the first half, and that's something we've kind of talked about, you know, throughout the season, really. The Hornets have to do something differently. You know, the last 3 or 4 games, 3 for sure, it has been all run. And I get it. You got a talented freshman that can run lights out, wear him out, okay? And you've got a talented quarterback in Juwan Giddens. But when it's not working, you've got to have something to go to.
Right.
And that is the pass game, which is not working. So they've got to figure out and make those adjustments here at halftime.
Now, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, just, you know, the opportunities not going their way. And really, as well, you mentioned it, this is a team that starts off slow. We've seen it all season long. This is not as much of a first-half team. This is more of a adjustments made at halftime. Do a lot better in the second half. We've seen it in a few games. We saw it against Randall last week as well with you and Carlos on the call for that one. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what comes out here in the second half for this Huntsville Hornets squad. But there's a lot to adjust here if you're Huntsville, especially on that defensive side.
A lot. And that is the key word. There are a lot of adjustments, and they can make it. yeah, 28 points, that seems insurmountable, but it's really not. If you can come out and play lights out in the second half, which they have no choice. They've got to. Somebody, and I don't care, either side of the football, somebody needs to step up and make a big play to get that excitement, to get that momentum back on the Hornets sidelines, because right now, Jordan, they just don't have it.
And we saw the big play to start the ball game, the kickoff that ended up going in Huntsville's favor, whether it was touched by a Fort Bend Marshall player just past the 10 yards, so they're allowed to get the ball off the live play. But you saw that big play to start off. After that, there weren't too many more big plays after that. So like you said, you've got to find a way to get the big play going as the second half goes on. Just under 18 minutes left to go here in this halftime show. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll have our Hornets Nest segment with Shannon Duncan. And then after that, we will have our halftime adjustments with Brian Adams in the start of the second half right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network from Walker County Federal Credit Union at 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Halftime is a time of rest and refueling, a time to reflect and get ready for what is coming. Friends, Sundays are a great halftime for your life. The last week is behind you, and Sunday is a fresh start to a new week. It's to be a day of rest, a day to recharge. We believe there's no better place to do this than Northside Baptist Church. I invite you to come see us soon. I believe you'll be recharged and replenished as we worship God together. Come to the cross. We'll show you the Savior. I'm Reagan Cooksey, pastor of Northside Baptist Church. Are you listening?
Happy Friday Night Lights on a Thursday night, Hornet Nation fans. Thanks for tuning in and listening to the broadcast of tonight's Hornet football game. We want to congratulate the Huntsville High School cheerleader team. Last weekend, the team competed in Galveston in the UCA Houston Regional Game Day competition. This was the first time for the team to compete in this particular competition. Competing in the Super Varsity Game Day division against multiple 5A and 6A teams across the state, the team did very well and qualified to compete at the next level in Orlando, Florida, this upcoming February, where they will compete against teams across the nation. The cheer team will compete next on December the 3rd at New Caney High School for a pre-UIL state competition. We wish our Hornet cheerleaders good luck. Let's sting them. In a National Signing Day ceremony this afternoon at Huntsville High School, Hornet Athletics celebrated Lady Hornet Hope Grant. Grant has committed to Northeast Texas Community College, where she plans to continue her education and play the sport she loves, softball. Congratulations, Hope. We're Hornet proud of you. We also have some big news in Huntsville ISD to share that will make you super Hornet proud. As recently reported in the Item and the Dallas Morning News, Huntsville ISD ranks #1 in reading improvement according to a national study of state standardized tests scores and National Assessment of Education Progress, or NAEP scores. The study, conducted collaboratively by Harvard's Center for Education Policy Research and Stanford's Educational Opportunity Project, looked at students' reading levels in grades 3 through 8 in 3,760 school districts across the nation from 2019 to 2022. They concluded the average reading level loss was a quarter of a year during the pandemic years. However, Huntsville ISD showed the strongest gains at 1.13 years of reading level growth throughout this time period. We are so proud of our students and everyone in Huntsville ISD who works so hard every single day to help every child in our district reach their full potential. We are #1. Parents, save the date. The Thanksgiving break is just around the corner. The entire district will be closed for Thanksgiving break the entire week of Monday, November the 21st through Friday, November the 25th. It's a great day to be a Hornet. We are building champions. Everyone, every day. We hope you enjoy listening to the rest of tonight's game. Good luck to our Hornets. Let's sting them.
Halftime is a time of rest and refueling, a time to reflect and get ready for what is coming. Friends, Sundays are a great halftime for your life. The last week is behind you, and Sunday is a fresh start to a new week. It's to be a day of rest, a day to recharge. We believe there's no better place to do this than Northside Baptist Church. I invite you to come see us soon. I believe you'll be recharged and replenished as we worship God together. Come to the cross. We'll show you the Savior. I'm Reagan Cooksey, pastor of Northside Baptist Church. Are you listening?
Welcome you back to the Northside Baptist Church halftime show. Again, your Hornets down 35-0 against the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes here in the bi-district round of the 2022 5A playoffs. Right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and right here on 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. First, want to shout out Carlos Zimmerman, obviously, who couldn't be here tonight. You know, hoping that the Hornets can pull out a win, so he'll be right back here with you, Brian, for next week, because we want him to be in this booth for the playoffs as well.
Absolutely. You know, Carlos, he's done just a tremendous job this year. Is the play-by-play and the voice of the Hornets and the Bearcats. And tonight he's sitting behind the microphone calling the Bearcat basketball game, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And as far as I saw at halftime, which it seemed like a while ago, it was 49-17 Bearcats. So go Bearcats. Obviously,
Bearcats.
Big win against the Sooners.
No doubt, man. What a game that was, huh?
Beautiful call by Carlos as well on that one. But getting back to the action here for the Hornets, we take a look at what needs to happen for the second half of this ball game. We already said it in the first half of this halftime show. A lot of adjustments have to be made. But now let's get into specifics. What are some of those adjustments, Ryan, that need to be seen from Huntsville going into the second half?
You know, I think defensively, and this is something we kind of talk about week after week, is they've got to tackle better. And they got to initial contact, they've got to bring them down immediately. They can't break those tackles and pick up 5 or 6 more yards after initial contact. They've got to figure out that. Secondly, you know, the run game has spurts of great runs, I guess, you know, but they zero passing game. And again, you know, Jordan, you're playing the number 1 team in the state of Texas, and they're good on all aspects of football, the special teams, the defense, and the offense, and obviously we've seen it so far in the first half. Huntsville, not so much. You know, and but at halftime, you know, as they did last week against Randall, they made the proper adjustments, and it was a total night and day ball game, total tale of two halves. Hopefully Lightning can strike here, and we can have that same situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Huntsville looking for some kind of a miracle second half right now, down by 5 scores. About 11 and a half minutes left to go here before halftime is finished, as you hear the Fort Bend Marshall Band performing right now in the background. Huntsville went first as they were the road team. Very good performance from them. And again, we talked about it earlier. A good showing by the Huntsville, you know, fan base, driving that hour and a half down here, finding a little traffic on the Beltway, as you and I both did.
Yeah, no doubt.
But a good showing by the Huntsville fans nonetheless, being in the playoffs for the first time since 2020. If I'm not mistaken, for the 4th time in the last 5 years.
That's correct. Yep, no doubt. And you're right, man. We do have a big crowd over there. And we want to thank each and every one of them for making the trip over. And then those of you who are back at home listening to us on the radio, we certainly appreciate that. You're right. It's, you know, the Hornets, they are a rich tradition of football, to say the least. It is a storied program that goes way back. And, you know, being in the playoffs is nothing really new for Huntsville. I mean, you can go back into the 50s and then throughout it to the current time we're in now. And they've been in the playoffs quite a bit. But here's the difference. You know, you've got a bunch of youngsters for Huntsville. I mean, you've got, I don't remember what the exact number was. You may have heard it last night when Coach Southern was talking about it, but 17 underclassmen, sophomores, and obviously your starting running back is a very talented freshman. But that is a very young team going against Fort Bend Marshall, who is just mowing down everybody. So we knew this was going to be a difficult game for the Hornets tonight.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talked about it heading into this ball game tonight. 3rd time these two teams have met. Both of those ball games were very, very close ball games. The first one, the playoff loss in the regional final. The other one was a 2-touchdown difference, I should say, in that ball game in the win for Fort Bend Marshall. And so far, the Buffaloes having their way here in their quote-unquote home stadium for this season. This is not actually their home stadium, the Leroy Crump Stadium. They had to use this stadium because their home stadium currently being renovated out for Fort Bend ISD, so they've actually been using this field as a temporary home this year. Seems like they'd play pretty well here in A-Leaf ISD.
It sure does. If you would have never said that, I would have said, man, this is they've got some great home field advantage working for them. But you know what? You just talked about it. I mean, you're right. We've played them 3 times. And it has always been in the playoffs, right? Well, the regional playoffs that you were talking about, I remember that game like yesterday. And I say that, I better be careful. But yes, I don't think yesterday. But you had Tafondre Sweat, who is now a starting defensive lineman for your University of Texas Longhorns. He was on that final play as they did every trickeration they could, and T. Sweat had the thrower by his jersey, pulling him down as he launched up a Hail Mary just hoping for a prayer in double coverage, and somehow they came down with it, took it in the end zone, and then they won that ball game. That was one of the wildest games I've ever seen. A lot different from tonight, but again, you're talking two different squads altogether.
Yeah, and that's something, too. Two completely different squads from the 2018 and 2019 matchup to even this year. And that's one reason why they call it the Missouri City Miracle. What a play. I was actually there as well. I had come and talked to you before the game. Went down there over the Bears and just came down and Raven said, hey, how's it going?
That's funny, man.
But, yeah, no, so like you said, it's two very different squads, very different times for the program. And we talked about it. You mainly mentioned it, Brian, at the beginning of the broadcast. This is a very young squad. And with any playoff experience they can get is huge for the future of this program because, like you said, the next 2, 3, 4 years, this is going to be a very good program in Huntsville.
Very talented program, and you're right. Any playoff experience you can get whenever is good. Obviously you want to come out on the winning end of that, but the experience you're going to get by being in the playoffs is going to serve this young team very well in the near future. Because you're right, Jordan. Think about this. So many cool things are going on for the Hornets. They're going to have a brand new stadium for the first time in their history, and it is going to be one of the nicest stadiums in all of Texas. Cannot wait for that. So you got so many youngsters that want to be a part of that, and I can't blame them.
Yeah.
I remember in Huntsville, when I moved to Huntsville in second grade and would watch the Hornets play at Bedrock on Friday night, I could not wait for it to be my turn, and I got my turn, took advantage of it, and that's what these guys are going to do. They're going to have these 7th and 8th graders who are coming up in the system going to play in this unbelievably super cool stadium right on campus. And, the program is heading in the right direction. It's been heading in the right direction ever since head coach Rodney Southern came on board 9 years ago. The future is bright for your Huntsville Hornets.
Absolutely, and I'm just going to go ahead and dub it now, even though it's not finished. Crown jewel of I-45. I'm just going to go ahead and say that now.
I like it, yeah. And this, I've heard multiple people say that there are teams that are already scheduling games into a stadium that's yet to be built. So you're talking about that I-45 corridor. You're talking about revenue coming in left and right from playoff games, softball game. You name it, because the facilities are going to be so nice. People are going to want to play their games there, and we're right dead center from the greater Houston area, the greater Dallas area, and even San Antonio. We are in a perfect spot. What an exciting time to be a Huntsville Hornet.
Yeah, absolutely. Huntsville is growing very, very rapidly, and it is a great time to be a part of Huntsville and be a part of the Hornet Nation here in 2022. Just under 6 minutes left to go here before the second half begins. We'll take a quick break, and we will be back for the second half of play here once again, as that is our Northside Baptist Church halftime show. Back after this here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 104.9 and 94.1 The Lake.
Hi, I'm Reagan Cooksey, and I have a thought I want to share with you. Are you listening? I was walking down a hall. I turned the lights off as I entered. Immediately, it was too dark to see. I groped around the darkness, getting somewhat disoriented. Then I turned and faced the direction I thought I needed to go. Up ahead, I could see the light from another part of the building. I walked toward that light, and it led me out of the darkness I had put myself into. Many today walk in darkness in their life. Friends, there is a light that shines that can and will lead you out of darkness. It's a light from a source other than this world. That light is Jesus. You can follow him out of any darkness you might be in. I'm Reagan Cooksey, pastor of Northside Baptist Church. Are you listening? Northside Baptist Church is a vibrant, growing body of believers located at 1207 FM 980 in Huntsville, Texas. Check us out at northside-baptist.org. Northside Baptist Church, going people in Christ to reach people for Christ.
This has been the Hornets Halftime Show, brought to you by Northside Baptist Church. The second half of tonight's game is moments away on 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
Mirsky's Cafe in New Waverly is open for breakfast at 7:30 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Get a great start to your day. Chicken fried steaks, chicken fried chicken, and hamburger steaks, or go lighter with salads. Go for Taco Tuesday and Fish Fridays. Lunch starts at 11. Private dining room or catering available. Dine in, curbside pickup, or to-go orders. 936-439-5039. Mirsky's Cafe in New Waverly, 315 FM 1375. Check them out on Facebook. Home of the world-famous Hootie Burger and proud supporters of the Hornets and Bulldogs.
Hello, this is Carol Sullivan with Community Service Credit Union. You know how much I love rodeo and helping rodeo contestants and their families. If you're thinking about that truck or trailer of your dreams, keep CSCU in mind. We'll work with you to get a payment you can afford from a financial institution you can trust. Visit cscutx.com and apply online today. Bank happy, spend smart, live well. CSCU. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership required. Certain restrictions apply.
Hey folks, it's Steven over here at Adams Furniture. We're your Huntsville, Texas hometown furniture store. Come in and see why we carry the top brands with great customer service. We carry brands such as Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Hybrid, Serta mattresses. We have the biggest selection of lazy boy recliners, double reclining sofas, reclining love seats. We have all American made hardwood bedroom furniture, living room furniture, all American made lift chairs. All this is in stock and ready for delivery at Adams Furniture. We are cheaper in the country. Shop local with us and save your money. That's Adams Furniture, 30 State Highway and 75 North and 10th Street.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Again, the music continuing to get us back into these ball games. There's some good music we got going here tonight, Brian.
Man, that's some 80s going on there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a great decade.
80s and 90s music on the lake. More music, more fun here on 104.9 and 94.1. The Lake. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams as we get you started for the second half of play and the Whataburger third quarter of action. Here, 35-0 Fort Bend Marshall leads in this bi-district round action here in the 2022 5A UIL playoffs. And again, I briefly mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast. This is a team this year that surpassed a lot of expectations. By many people, this was a building year for the program and a year where most people outside of the team did not expect them to make the postseason. They snuck in the last game with a big victory last week against Randall, especially some big plays late from JT Kroll and others, and they were able to get their way into the postseason. So already this year has been a victory for this program.
Agree 100%. You're right. I mean, they have exceeded expectations, as you just mentioned. They have got, and folks, what you really kind of try to wrap your head around this, when you're talking about kids that are 14, 15 years old, a couple of 16-year-olds, you're talking kids that are still growing. You know, they are still growing. As Coach Southern said, he's had a kid at the beginning of 2 days in the summer to now he's already grown 2 inches.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible, man, if you think about that. So these are young guys going against a veteran team. And I say veteran, you're talking lots of 17, 18-year-olds, a lot of seniors on Fort Bend Marshall against a lot of sophomores and a couple of freshmen. I mean, it's just, it's not really kind of apples to apples type of deal. But when you play football, all that is out the window. It does not matter. You go play the team across from you and you dominate them. And that's something Huntsville has to come out in this second half and do right away.
And that's the thing, too. Coming into this ball game, the Hornets had a little bit of an interesting scenario. Fort Bend Marshall actually lost in the first round last year to a team with an identical record in Barbers Hill last year. Now, I was talking with Coach Williams for Fort Bend Marshall. He was saying that this year they're trying to prove that game was a fluke because of the fact that in last year's district, it was against, quote-unquote, weaker talent of sorts, just for lack of better words. But this year, having a much stronger conference, Fort Bend Marshall was saying, it helped them out a lot prepare for the postseason. And Huntsville had a big boost as well in district opponents as well. You see Lake Creek going undefeated. You saw Brenham having a very good year as well, finishing second. So both sides really had an improvement in district play, and that's something that benefited both programs. But Fort Bend Marshall doing the same thing they did last year, winning the district, almost undefeated. The only loss was against Crosby in overtime early in the year.
Yep, no doubt about it. And again, here in the second half, the Hornets, I know they've made quite a few adjustments, and they've got to offensively, when they get this ball here, they've got to drive it down the field and score on their first drive.
Kickoff starts off the second half of play. Huntsville gets the ball, starts it at the 14-yard line. They have a run across the 30-yard line, down to the 35, and down to the 36. A big return there to start things off for Huntsville in this one. On the return by, it looks like, losing my number here, Peyton Pryor.
Yeah, that was a nice run by Peyton Pryor. I mean, he takes the kickoff, and he gets the Hornets to the 35-yard line to start their first drive here in the second half. And here we go, Hornets. Time to turn it around.
Two receivers to the near sideline. Hornets moving left to right across your radio dials on the 35-yard line. Hand off to Brown to start this second half of play in the Whataburger third quarter. As forward progression will give them a yard, and that's about it to the 36.
Yep, Trayshawn Brown tries to take it around the left side. And again, Fort Bend Marshall, it's been all running game in the first half, so they are lined up 8 or 9 in the box, pinning their ears back and just going after the quarterback and the running backs for Huntsville.
Second down and 9, handoff once again. This time to Braylon Phelps. He'll dive forward, or fall forward actually, for a few more out to the 42-yard line. Big gain on the play there.
Yeah, nice run by Phelps on the left side in the B gap, and that makes it third and manageable. And it's nice to see Phelps back. Again, we talked about a little bit earlier, Jordan, he was out the last several weeks with an injury. It's great to see him back as he is a very young, talented football player.
Third down and about 2 on the play. And trying to go to the near sideline, but not much doing there on that one. On the handoff to Brown, the freshman. Now call for progression at the line of scrimmage, so 4th down and 3 coming up.
Well, they are, they have Juwan Giddens as the quarterback. He looks like he may take a shotgun snap, and in a situation like this, he'll probably step back into the punting role. Because, again, you don't want to give Fort Bend Marshall a big, huge play right off the bat to start the second half.
Saw that to end the first half of play from Huntsville, and now a timeout I think is going to be called. It will be called, in fact, by Fort Bend Marshall. 10:06 left to go here in the Whataburger third quarter of play. 35-0 the score. And Brian, why don't we go ahead and thank some more of our wonderful sponsors that make this broadcast possible?
Absolutely. We want to thank Advantage Specialties. Advantage Specialties is your one-stop shop for business promotional needs in Huntsville. And Charlie's Used Cars, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Walker County Federal Credit Union, if you don't know, you need to. Belonging to a credit union makes you an owner. At Walker County Federal Credit Union, you get all the things you want and expect from your financial institution, including low-cost loans, online banking, and more. For personal, friendly service, you can't beat Walker County Federal Credit Union, a member NCUA, and my personal bank. There we go. Thank you so much, sponsors. We couldn't do this without you. We appreciate it more than you know.
Especially with the quick turnaround from this past week, not knowing if the Hornets are even going to get to the postseason, then sneaking their way in. So, again, thank y'all as well for your support all season long here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. 4th down here. They will go for it on 4th down. In fact, pass to the outside, and that one is incomplete. Turnover on downs. Intended target on the play, Savion Conte, his first target on the night, and the sophomore just not able to bring it in.
No, I mean, great pass by Giddens. It hits Conte right in his chest, can't hang on to it. They turn the ball over on downs. Fort Bend Marshall again starts a drive in Hornet territory here in this second half.
Buffaloes will start on the Hornet 42, moving right to left across your radio dials. 10:01 left to go here in the Whataburger third quarter of play. Stack receivers to each side of the line of scrimmage to start the drive for the Buffaloes. Shotgun for the quarterback in Davis. Snaps, hands it off here, and a big stop there by the defense. Only a gain of a couple on the play by the offense of the Buffaloes, and I believe Pomeroy was there on the stop.
Yeah, I believe that's Jonathan Haynes that took that handoff up the middle, picks up a couple of yards to start their second half out here. Nice play there by Pomeroy there in the Hornet defense. Good job.
Only a gain of a couple on the play to the 40. So second down and 8 coming up, and again, Fort Bend Marshall using up all that time. 9 seconds on the play clock here, and you're up 5 scores. Why not use up all the time? You have that advantage. As we have 2 receivers on each side. Shotgun snap. Davis dropping back, looking for somebody. Pocket collapse. He'll just go ahead and run it himself across the 35. Started a slide, but then is tackled from behind on the play for the Huntsville Hornets by Cody Hager. And it's enough for a first down.
Yeah, nice play by the young sophomore, Cody Hager. We hadn't called his name out a lot. Nice tackle there. Again, Fort Bend Marshall does pick up the first down, but again, a good tackle there by the young sophomore.
So first down and 10 coming up here on the Hornet 31-yard line. Again, they move right to left to the Buffaloes across your radio dials. 8:41 left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. 2 receivers to the far sideline. Now a man in motion, and Banks off the jet sweep. He'll get the handoff to the near sideline across the 30 to the 25. That's about where he's pushed out there on the play by Isaiah Collins.
Yeah, nice run by Jacoby Banks. Takes the sweep around the left side, cuts the edge, picks up a couple of yards there, brings up third down. Again, golden opportunity for the Hornet defense to stop them right here and hopefully get the ball back.
They mark it at the 25. Second down and 4 coming up off of the 6-yard gain. They call it officially on the play. 8 minutes left to go here in the Whataburger third quarter of play. 2 receivers to the far sideline. Now a man in motion. Out wide is a tight end and Elijah Sims. They'll hand it off here to the running back in Gerard Howard, the junior back, still on his feet inside the red zone, inside the 10, and is brought down at about the 5, maybe the 4-yard line. A big run there for the Buffaloes, puts them in a goal-to-go situation.
Yeah, great run by Howard. I mean, the junior running back takes the handoff, and as soon as he gets the ball, he's already at full speed running downhill. I mean, great run there by Fort Bend Marshall.
Howard's first carry on the night, a big gain on the play there. That's a gain of officially of about 21 on that run. 7:20 left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. First and goal for the Buffaloes offense on the Huntsville Hornet 4-yard line. 2 receivers to the near sideline. They will give the handoff once again to Howard, it looks like. He'll try to stumble his way to the end zone, and they will call the touchdown. 4-yard rushing touchdown on the stretch. And now the Buffaloes are up by 6 scores.
Yep, nice run there on the left side by Howard. He gets hit initially about the line of scrimmage, runs through the tackler, stretches out, gets the ball over the plane, and I mean, Fort Bend Marshall is just putting it to the Hornets.
Miguel Diaz, snap, hold, kick, and it's through the uprights for the Buffaloes. 42-0 the score. Fort Bend Marshall ahead. We'll take a quick break for 30 seconds and be back after this here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
Hi, I'm Karen Denman, Senior Loan Officer at Walker County Federal Credit Union. There are always things we'd all like to do right now if we just had a way to do them. Well, our low loan rates can help make your life easier. Maybe you'd like to take a vacation, buy that bike you've been eyeing, or even pay for a wedding or college. We will do our best to help you make it happen. Give us a call or come by our office on Normal Park Drive. You can even apply online at walkercountyfcu.com. Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. 42-0 with 7:01 left to go in the third quarter of play. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. Luke Scott down on the sideline. We'll go to him in just a little bit as we see right now a tough situation once again for this Hornet offense and really the Hornets in general, but you've got to get a score on this drive, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely you do. I mean, it's already, again, 42-0. Somehow, you've got to at least put the ball in Fort Bend's side of the field at least more than once.
Return will start at the 22-yard line for the Hornets, still charging his way forward, still on his feet, and then brought down to about the 40-yard line. A big run there on the play for Huntsville by Melton Green III.
Nice run by Melton Green III. I mean, that's power running at its best, and it's good to see him. His father, Melton Green II, good friend of ours, and it's good to see his son get some good playing time.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's already had a few big runs so far in this ball game on special teams, so good job by him thus far. As immediately, the first play of the drive, Trayshawn Brown runs into his own lineman and falls down to the ground for a loss on the play.
Yeah, you don't need any help from your own team.
The loss of one officially on the play. Second down and 11 coming up, 6:30 left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. Right now for Huntsville, they've just got to find a way to get a lucky break. They had a couple early in the ball game, haven't been able to find another one since. Shotgun snap, and Giddens will keep it himself to the far sideline. He's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage, but they will call it no gain on the play. Third down coming up.
Well, Juwan Giddens takes it around the left side, and as talented as he is, when Fort Bend Marshall knows you're going to run the football, it kind of negates your talent. And they've been doing that all in this first half. And I tell you, coming from being an old former Hornet quarterback who loved to throw the football, they got to throw the football. I mean, come on.
Right, yeah.
Open it up a little bit, and just, you got to keep their defense off balance, and it's not been that way yet.
Saw a little bit of that passing game show up in the first half, but have yet to see it that much in this second half of play. Three receivers to the near sideline. They tried the pass there, incomplete. Good coverage on the defense by Kai Gilry, the senior cornerback. And that makes it fourth down and long.
Yeah, the intended target was Savion Conte running a short little post route. It was defended very well, covered very well, and the ball was just kind of batted away. Again, another fourth down and 11 here for the Hornets.
Same formation here, like you said earlier. Wouldn't be surprised if, and there it is, Giddens backing up to get into punt formation. Donovan Jackson once again back deep as the punt is blocked. And it'll be recovered way deep already into Hornet territory. Buffaloes will start on the Hornet 32.
Yeah, another bad play by the special teams. That's a couple of blocks, a bad snap on a field goal attempt. And you can't let your opponent start every drive of the night in your territory.
Luke, let's head down to you. What have you been sensing from the sideline and everything so far starting in the second half?
Yeah, Jordan, just because of that play right there, the heads are pretty down right now. So, and it doesn't help that it's getting goose-egged right now at 42-0. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of the younger guys come in the fourth quarter to get some reps.
Thank you, Luke. Fine work as always as we start the drive for the Buffaloes. Pressure coming on to him in Davis, but he escapes it. A loss on the play, though. A big-time defensive stop. The first one, it seems like, of the night for Huntsville.
Yep, Sakari Carew there in on the stop. And again, great coverage downfield by the Hornets secondary. Just nowhere to throw the football. And great pursuit there by the young man from Finland.
A loss of 2 officially on the play. Second down and 12 with 4:43 left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. Ball sits currently on the 35-yard line on the Hornets side of the 50. Buffalo's moving right to left across your radio dials. Fake handoff here. Davis taking his time, has some pressure in front of him, and is not brought down. And in fact, a part of the jersey is ripped as he will stumble his way past the 30 and down to the 29.
Shiloh Jones had an opportunity, got Davis by his jersey, couldn't hang on. The pursuit, the Hornet swarm came in to finish him off. Again, now you've got third down and 5. Big opportunity for this Hornet defense to finally stop Fort Bend Marshall.
Grabbed him with that back part of the tug-away jersey as he tried to make the stop, like you said, Brian, and just unfortunately, Davis got away from him. Right now, a 3rd down and 5 situation. Ball sits currently on the Hornet 28-yard line. First down is the 23. High snap. Davis keeps it himself on the one-handed grab. Hurdles a little bit over his own blocker. It won't be enough for the first down as it gets down to the 26-yard line.
Yep, Jordan Davis is taking it to the sidelines over here on the left side, trying to cut up the edge, and nice play by the Hornets. Great pursuit, brings up 4th down in 3 yards, and big opportunity for the Hornet defense to stop him right here.
And it looks like the Buffaloes are going to go for it on offense here. Not a surprising thing to see, honestly, as they do hand it off to Hayes on the outside. He breaks through and it trots his way into the end zone. However, a flag on the play. This might be a holding and might bring it back. And that's exactly what it is. They say on Fort Bend Marshall, so that will negate the touchdown altogether.
Yep, that is the call. Holding by Fort Bend Marshall. A big break for the Hornets because that was on 4th down, and they, of course, ran it in the end zone, which will negate that touchdown and push them back 10 yards. And, man, what a break for the Hornets. Looks like now they're bringing out the punt team.
And this is something that I talked with head coach Williams for Fort Bend Marshall about just a couple of days ago. In the years past, he says that they had to go for it a lot more on 4th down and 1, 4th down and 2. Now they don't have to do that as much. And I asked him, is that just a coaching philosophy change or is that trusting your defense? And he says absolutely trusting the defense, gotten a lot better as the years have gone on. And obviously, this one did not work out for them as they now have to send it away. First time that Huntsville's gotten a defensive stop in the ballgame thus far, as that will go into the end zone for a touchback. Special teams wasn't aware where the ball was.
No doubt. The ball went in through the end zone, so the Hornets will get it on the 25. A lot of jawing going on out there now. A lot of stuff, little extracurricular stuff kind of going on. And, it's unfortunate, but typically you kind of see that when you got a game like this, tempers flare and things like that. However, the Hornets have to shake all that off, concentrate on this drive. We have a new quarterback in the ball game, number 11, Austin Taylor, coming in and taking over the offense here in the second half.
First time we've seen him in about half a season as the signal caller, so it'll be interesting to see how the offense changes, if at all, for Taylor here. And we'll get to see what he does here in the second half. 2:52 left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. First play, shotgun snap. Taylor will hand it off. Big play on the outside and stopped immediately on a big hit. Wow, what a smackdown there. It looked like by Joshua Lair.
Yeah, that was Joshua Lair. Absolutely tattooed Trayshawn Brown and just dropped him right where he was. But having Austin Taylor back in this ball game, he is more of a passing quarterback than Juwan Giddens. Juwan Giddens, super talented, but at this point in the game, throw the ball some, see what Austin Taylor can do.
Fakes a handoff. Taylor keeps it himself as he stumbles his way down to the 28-yard line. Not enough for the first, but a lot better situation coming up here on third down.
Absolutely. Third and manageable. You got 3rd and 2. Austin Taylor can also run the football. Last week, what a huge contribution he did just in one play. He was able to pick up a first down for the Hornets, which led them to get a new set of downs. The next play, they carried it into the end zone, won the ball game to propel them in here into the playoffs.
2 receivers to each side of the line of scrimmage. Here on 3rd down and 2, ball on the Hornet 28-yard line, and I think a false start is going to happen here, and that's exactly what is going to happen. I'm just going to go ahead and assume everybody but the center.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. Yeah, no doubt. Again, you're in the playoffs, and those kind of penalties right there, you kind of hope you get rid of those after the 3 or 4 games into the season. But nonetheless, there's been kind of, it's been kind of a clean ball game tonight. So, but again, you hate seeing that, man. That just hurts your drives.
Especially in that situation where, like you said, 3rd down and very manageable. Right now, 1.5 minutes left to go in the Whataburger third quarter. Pass over the middle, and that one way behind his intended target on the play there. And Peyton Pryor, the sophomore receiver. And it's now 4th down and about 7.
Yeah, well, again, Hornets struggling on offense. Austin Taylor comes out, gets an opportunity to come back after injury early in the season. He's going to be a little rusty. His timing is going to be off a little bit. But I like Coach Southern's call. I mean, again, it's 42-0. Try something new. All right, give him an opportunity to come back out, get some playing time in. Again, because he's a sophomore. He's a youngster. He's got more time with the Hornets coming in the next 2 years.
That's the thing, too. If you're Fort Bend Marshall, you're not game planning for Austin Taylor to be a quarterback. So it kind of throws them for a little bit of a loop as well. As a punt, it looked like it was blocked there by Giddens. And the Buffaloes will recover it inside the Hornet 10-yard line down at the 6. And this is something we've seen over and over and over again. Special teams has not done any favors for Huntsville here tonight.
Oh, they've been atrocious tonight. I mean, just call it what it is. They have not done very well at all on special teams, and it's cost them big. But again, you know what? We knew it was going to be a tough game, and things like that happen. And this will be a good learning opportunity once the dust settles. They look at film tomorrow and things like that, and they'll learn from it.
Absolutely, absolutely. 1:12 left to go here in the Whataburger third quarter of play. 42-0 is the score here. Buffalo's ahead by 6 scores. Here in this one, it's now first down and goal. Officially, they mark it at the 7-yard line. Run to the outside here on first down, and skates his way into the end zone on the 7-yard rush. Looks like the running back there in Gerard Howard, the junior running back, gets him his first score of the night.
Yep, Fort Bend Marshall just tacking them on. You know, straight run up the middle. I mean, it's just all Fort Bend Marshall. What can you say?
There's a reason why they were picked by many to win the state title in 5A football heading into this season. Snap, hold, kick. That one through the uprights, 49-0 the score. 1:05 left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. We'll take a quick break. Be back after this here from the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. Brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
What does the 50th anniversary of Title IX mean? It means I'm valued, I'm empowered, I can do anything. It means I'll pave the way for every girl who plays high school sports in the future, just like every female student, coach, official, and administrator blaze the trail for me, because every student deserves the opportunity to play. Encourage girls you know to participate in Texas high school sports.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Huntsville ISD is the best place for children to be. We offer a full-day pre-K center to advanced career and college options, along with a variety of extracurricular activities and award-winning fine arts, band and athletics programs, an excellent child nutrition and bus transportation services, bilingual ESL and GT programs, special education services, and a career and technical education program that provides multiple certification and licensing options for students. Visit huntsville-isd.org. It's a great day to be a Hornet. We're building champions, everyone, every day.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network as we resume play here in this one. Return will start at about the 22 once again for Huntsville. Not getting far, though, but taking a pile is the returner once again in green, the third, all the way up to what looks to be about the 33-yard line. 55 seconds left to go in the Whataburger third quarter of play. Football fans, you don't want to miss the UIL State football experience at Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas this December. Come out for an action-packed 4 days, Wednesday, December 14th through Saturday, December 17th, and witness the best teams in each division battle it out in the final games of the season. Tickets and all tournament pass information can be found at uiltexas.org. There's Taylor once again back out there with the Hornet offense. Like you said, just trying to do something new here with, quote-unquote garbage time, so with a quarter left to go. As the first play will be a handoff here on a high snap. Not much doing, though. They'll call for progression at actually a 1-yard gain on the play. They'll give it to Huntsville. And some extracurriculars once again after the play.
Yeah, Braylon Phelps takes the handoff, tries to come over to the right side, pick up a block and cut it upfield. Picks up only a yard on the carry. Looks like we got an injured Fort Bend Marshall player coming off the field. That's number 11. That's Ryan Simpson, linebacker, the junior linebacker for Fort Bend Marshall.
As they tend to him, we will take a quick 30-second break. 33 seconds left to go in this Whataburger third quarter. Back after this here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
Merski's Cafe in New Waverly is open for breakfast at 7:30 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Get a great start to your day. Chicken fried steaks, chicken fried chicken, and hamburger steaks. Or go lighter with salads. Go for Taco Tuesday and Fish Fridays. Lunch starts at 11. Private dining room or catering available. Dine in, curbside pickup, or to-go orders. 936-439-5039. Merski's Cafe in New Waverly, 315 FM 1375. Check them out on Facebook. Home of the world-famous Hootie Burger and proud supporters of the Hornets and Bulldogs.
The music having a little bit more of an uptone beat than the seems like the Huntsville fans are tonight.
Yeah, right.
As we welcome you back on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, 49-0 to score with 33 seconds left to go in this Whataburger third quarter of play. Huntsville with the ball, 2nd down and 9 coming up on their own 35-yard line as they move left to right across your radio dials. 3 receivers to the far side. Taylor once again in the shotgun with Phelps to his right. They'll hand it off to Phelps. Actually, Taylor will keep it himself and run up the gut. Looks like a gain of 1 on the play. 3rd down and 8, but that should do it for this third quarter of play as the clock will wind down to triple zeros. 49-0 the score. As we come back on the other side of this break for the Merski's Cafe, 4th quarter of action when we come back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union at 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
I'm Jerry Larson at Reliable Auto Parts, your auto parts plus store in Huntsville, Texas, having great products, excellent quality, and outstanding prices. This is what you can expect from Reliable Parts, where you can purchase all your car care products, maintenance supplies, and auto parts. Our services and in-house store offerings are designed to keep your vehicle and motorized machine in proper working condition. Reliable Parts, your auto parts store, 1011 11th Street, Huntsville, 295-5747.
AB Squared Self-Storage is your local go-to self-storage facility that can help give you the extra space you need, big or small. From non-climate and climate-controlled storage to parking spaces for your car, boat, trailer, and RV, they have it all. AB Squared Self-Storage has 24-hour computerized gate access, around-the-clock security camera monitoring, no long-term lease commitment, and convenient payment options. Give them a call today at 936-755-5000 or reserve your space online at www.ab2selfstorage.com.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network as we're just about to get things underway for the Merski's Cafe 4th quarter of play. Taylor rolls out to his right on 3rd down and long on the 3rd down and 9 actually. 1st down and more as that pass is past the 45 and stretches his way to the 49 before he's brought down. I believe that was Savion Conte on the catch. What a big stop either way.
Well, nice play by Austin Taylor. I mean, again, he hasn't played in about 5 or 6 ball games. Rolls out to his right, has traffic all over the place, finds his open receiver, makes the pass, picks up the 1st down, and moves the chains.
Just about into Buffalo territory. They need a couple yards to get there to cross the 50 as the Hornets move right to left across your radio dials. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. Luke Scott down on the sideline for this 4th quarter of play, as that is a pass that was just a bit outside to the intended target on the play in Noah Nieto, as that was, it seemed like just a little bit of a mistimed route there.
Well, Noah Nieto is a freshman. So you got another freshman wide receiver out there. So you have a freshman running back and you have a freshman wide out getting some really good playing time. As we talked about a while ago, Jordan.
Right.
This is great for these young guys going into next season. Get that playoff experience under your belt. Going to be valuable.
3 receivers to the near sideline here on 2nd down and 10 on the 49. Taylor looking for the far sideline, has his man in Nieto, and he is thrown past the 1st down marker down to the 39 into Buffalo territory, and a big play there to move the chains.
Nice catch by Nieto, back-to-back, getting another 1st down. The young freshman, again, folks, we're talking a guy who is 14 years old. I mean, out there playing some serious football. Fun to watch.
1st down and 10 on the Buffalo 39-yard line. 2 receivers to the near sideline. Taylor has a running back with him as he hands it off to the back in Phelps. Tries to go to the near sideline. Doesn't get much on the play, but a gain of 2 as that goes down to the 37.
Yep, just a simple handoff. Tries to cut up the edge on the left side. Not a whole lot of running room. Maybe picks up a yard or two. But again, the Hornets are moving the football.
Yeah, it's definitely something that has at least been good to see. We haven't seen them move the ball down the field on offense in at least a couple of quarters here. So it's good to see them moving the ball down the field on this drive as we have 3 receivers on the far sideline here on 2nd down and about 8. Taylor, shotgun snap, moving to his right, looking way down the field, and that one's caught and then incomplete. It went in and out of the hands, looked like a Matthew Tatum. My, oh my, what a play, what a catch that would have been.
Man, what a pass by Austin Taylor. He runs to the right. He's got a defensive end in hot pursuit. As soon as he releases the ball, he's tackled. Great pass right through the hands of your wide receiver.
Yeah, had to jump for that one, too. Probably what seemed like a foot off the ground.
Right.
Oh, man, 9:55 left to go here in the Murskies' 4th quarter of play. 49-0 the score here. Fort Bend Marshall ahead. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Once again, same play as Taylor rolls out to his right. Goes a little bit closer this time. It is caught. 1st down, a little bit more. Across the 25. Still on his feet is Tatum, and he's thrown down at the 22-yard line. What a big play there. What a tough after-the-catch play made there by Tatum.
I mean, what a great play by Tatum. We hadn't called his name much tonight. There it was. He makes a great reception. Great pass by Austin Taylor rolling out to his right. Throwing in traffic, makes the reception. Great play.
Just outside of the Murray Insurance and Financial Services red zone is Huntsville at the 22. The quarterback and Taylor will keep it as he'll run out of bounds at about the 21. Gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Yep, just a fake handoff up the middle. Austin Taylor takes it around the right side. Can't cut up field. Picks up 1 yard on that carry, but now they're starting to keep the Fort Bend defense honest. So now that they're throwing the football and running the ball, it kind of changes everything Fort Bend has been doing all game long.
9:19 left to go here in the Murskies Cafe 4th quarter of play. And yeah, they're definitely changing things up a little bit. This is something we've been waiting on all game long, is for them to change up what is happening on offense. That's definitely going to be an offsides. No flag is called. There's the flag as they go deep for the end zone and just out of the reach of Hunter Lorenz, a sophomore receiver, but that's going to be offsides. That'll give them some yardage on that one to restart things.
Yeah, you're right. That's a big break for the Hornets to have that penalty go in their favor, but man alive, you have Lorenz wide open down there. Got to hit him in the numbers when he's running. Lay it up, let him run underneath it, but don't throw it out of reach.
That one was just patch, his outstretched hand, too. He had it. Looked like he was about maybe an inch away from getting his fingertips on it, too. So like you said, just got to throw it a couple yards back. There's a touchdown, your first touchdown of the night. So now inside the Murray Insurance and Financial Services red zone as that one moves it up off the penalty to the 16-yard line. 2nd down and 3 coming up here. 3 receivers to the near side. Shotgun snap for Taylor. He has pressure behind him as he has to try to move around. We'll get back to the line of scrimmage. They may call it a loss of 1.
Well, one of the things that quarterbacks, once they get some playing time under the belt, they get a sense of pressure, believe it or not. And I think Austin right there felt that pressure behind him, took it up the middle himself to try to make something out of nothing. But that is a good sign. Because, again, quarterbacks have that sixth sense when somebody is about to bring him down, and I think Austin Taylor felt that right there.
Darian Lewis was the man that was trailing Austin Taylor to defensive end for the Buffaloes. Ball is loose on a muffed exchange, and I think Fort Bend Marshall landed on it, and in fact they did. It's another turnover for Huntsville, and that's the thing, too, another big thing, and no matter what game it is, you win the turnover battle, you're probably winning a ball game, and Huntsville is not winning that right now.
Well, and again, it happened in the red zone. You know, they've looked really good moving the ball down the field, and they get into the red zone, and they come apart. And that is where you've got to have your best game. The field, when you're in the red zone, the field shortens and tightens up. You don't have a lot of room to maneuver. And Huntsville all year long has had problems in the red zone converting.
Now 0 for 3 tonight in the red zone, 0 for 2 in the first half of play. As Luke Scott talked about with head coach Rodney Souther, we'll bring Luke on in just a little bit to kind of get his thoughts on that drive as the Buffaloes will start things out here on their own 18-yard line, moving left to right across your radio dials. 8:29 left to go here in the Merskies Cafe, fourth quarter. Man in motion on first down. It'll be a jet sweep and a handoff for the Buffaloes. On that one, I believe, was George Kirkland, the sophomore receiver, getting some other players some action as well. Not on the usual starters for both sides, as you know, for this ballgame.
Yep, J.T. Kroll, number 54, had a big game last week. In on that tackle right there. It's nice to see him out there again tonight here making tackles.
A gain up to the 22 on that play. Makes it about 2nd down and 6. Coming up here with just under 8 minutes left to go in the Merskies Cafe, fourth quarter. Huntsville just trying to find something positive to end this ball game on, as here's a handoff to the far sideline. And not able to get much there. Good stop there and a good read by the Huntsville defense on the run from Gerard Howard.
Yeah, nice swarm tackling there by the Hornet defense. J.T. Kroll getting up off the ground. It's fun to see gang tackling like that. That means everybody's pursuing that football and swarming like a good defense of Huntsville Hornets.
3rd down and about 5 coming up. We gain of just a couple on that one. Bunch formation once again here for Fort Bend Marshall on 3rd down and medium. Once again, same exact play on the jet sweep once again. Not enough. I don't think they might have just gotten there. We'll see the spot of the ball, as that was a gain of about 5. And I think they're going to give them the favorable spot to move the chains.
Yeah, that was George Kirkland, the wide receiver on that play, trying to cut it up the middle. Going for it here on, well, no, or are they giving it to him?
Yeah, they gave it to him. Originally, the lineman was marked about a half-yard short. Instead, they went ahead and gave it to him. So now 1st down and 10 for the Buffaloes. Once again, handoff on the far sideline. And a good gain of about 9 there on the play once again from Howard.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Jabari Washington. Again, another freshman playing out there on defense. That's 3 freshmen we've called tonight. A wideout, your running back, and your DB right there. Young kids playing at the varsity level in their first playoff game as a high schooler.
And I'm sure you and Carlos have highlighted it all season long. We've talked about it multiple times here tonight. You've even mentioned it mainly, Brian, about the youth of this team alone. And then looking forward to the next 2-3 years of this program. Obviously, being able to get in, get these plays, get these stops is huge for their experiences. His 2nd down and about 1 play will be just enough for a 1st down off the gain from the far side from Howard on the run up to the 43.
Yep, Howard takes the ball, goes around the left side in between the guard and the tackle, picks up another 1st down there. But you're right, Jordan. Think about this. Football, even great teams, you have peaks, and they can be long peaks.
Right.
I was a part of the Hornet streak for 10 years. We never lost a district game ever, home or away, and we never lost a home game.
Right.
And, of course, I was only there for a couple of 3 seasons of it. But that is Huntsville football. And, again, you're going to have this new stadium. You're going to have all these young kids coming up through the program. It's going to be exciting.
Another jet sweep to the outside. Just enough for the 1st down, as that's going to be a run on the play by George Kirkland, the sophomore, on the jet sweep. Gain of 11 on the play, now into Huntsville territory. 5 minutes left to go in the Merskies Cafe, 4th quarter.
Yep, Fort Bend Marshall just running the ball, picking up 1st downs, moving the chains, eating up the clock. Got this game well in hand. And but again, you think about the performance tonight obviously is not what we were hoping for, nor did the players are hoping for. But again, the future, if you talk about Hornet football, the future is so bright.
Definitely going to be a team and a program to watch here over the next few years, as they will hand it off to Howard on this 1st down play. A gain up to about the 40-yard line. So 2nd and 4 coming up. We'll send it down to Luke Scott right quick just to kind of talk about what he's seen in this 4th quarter of play, and especially since Austin Taylor was put into the quarterback role.
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, obviously both teams have subbed in a lot of young guys, and what Austin brings is a passing element. We haven't really seen that this year. Whenever Austin started, Huntsville passed the ball pretty well, but coming to this game, he hadn't really played as much after the injury. And tonight, keeping the Fort Bend Marshall defense pretty honest, playing both the pass and the runs. So that part's been good. But, it's growing pains, and it's a young team to really watch in a few years because they got talent on this team.
To add to what Luke is talking about, they do have a lot of talent, and they got a lot of speed. Speed is something you cannot teach.
Exactly.
It is something that you're just blessed with. You work on it to make you faster, but the Hornets have some great young talent and lights out speed.
Absolutely, as a penalty brings it back 5 yards to make it 2nd down and 9. I want to thank Luke for his coverage as well. We'll have post-game interview with head coach Rodney Southern as this one winds down here. Run to the outside will be a gain up to the 39-yard line just about. It'll set up for 3rd down, and about 3 coming up here with 3 minutes left to go in the Merskies Cafe 4th quarter.
Yeah, right here, if the Hornet defense can stop them here on 3rd down and from converting, that would be a big win because now, the Hornets, they're going to have to start looking at the little wins that they got throughout this ball game, offensively and defensively and special teams, and build on that going into next year.
3rd down and 3 coming up here. Ball on the Hornet 39-yard line, a run to the near side. 1st down and a lot more as he crosses the 30 and is pushed out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Once again, using that jet sweep from George Kirkland, the sophomore.
Yep, just takes it around the right side. Again, plenty of running room, picks up the 1st down. You got 2 minutes and 29 seconds left in this ball game. And it's been all Fort Bend Marshall. And it started out, we talked about a little bit at halftime. The Hornets got that opening kickoff, and moved the ball downfield, looked really good. Got stopped, but still had an opportunity to kick a field goal with a bad snap, and then that snap being picked up by Fort Bend Marshall and taken to the house. You kind of saw the steam and the sail come out of the Hornets at that point, and it's been all Fort Bend Marshall tonight.
A little bit of a turf monster getting the running back there in Gerard Howard, the junior back. Only a gain of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9 coming up from just outside the red zone on the Hornet 24-yard line. 2:05 left to go in the Merskies Cafe 4th quarter of play. Again, the Hornets just looking for a stop to end on a positive note here. They've had a very, very tough battle here in tonight's ball game. Motion on a sweep once again, this time by Adrian Urbina. And he goes to the far sideline, across the 5. He dives for the pylon. They're going to call a touchdown.
Great effort on his part. He takes it around the left side, cuts it up the edge, outruns the Hornet defenders, dives into the end zone. Big run there by Fort Bend Marshall.
55-0 with 1:40 left to go here in the Merskies Cafe 4th quarter. Extra point pending. So make it 56 and just, again, we've said it, not a night you like to see for Huntsville, any team for that matter, but especially for Huntsville, who was coming off such a high of sneaking their way into the postseason, as Jacob Avalar will have the snap hold kick to fall in, and now a penalty is going to be called. It's going to be roughing the kicker. They're going to call on Huntsville. Extra point went through. At least I believe it did, but we'll see what Fort Bend Marshall says. I think they may re-kick.
Well, definitely roughing the kicker, but overall tonight it's been a relatively clean ball game.
It has.
That being said. So, but again, minute 40 left. This game is just about done, and Fort Bend Marshall is going to move on, and Huntsville's going to start their off season, regroup, and take it from there.
Once again, they will try again. Jacob Avalar, the senior place kicker. He'll retake his steps here, and they try to figure out the ball situation here. How they finally do, 3rd time's a charm, it looks like, for Avalar, as he retakes his steps for the 3rd time. Now they reset the ball for the 4th time.
Well, Avalar's going, man, where are we setting the ball at? He's a left-footed kicker. That's always kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I think they finally figured it out, Jordan.
Yeah. There's a line right there at the 2. Specifically what that is for as they finally get that one. Snap, hold, kick. May have been deflected, but still line drive right through the bottom goalpost. 56-0, 140 left to go here in this ballgame. We'll take a quick break. Be back after this here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
Huntsville ISD is the best place for children to be. We offer a full-day pre-K center to advanced career and college options, along with a variety of extracurricular activities and award-winning fine arts, band and athletics programs, an excellent child nutrition and bus transportation services, bilingual ESL and GT programs, special education services, and a career and technical education program that provides multiple certification and licensing options for students. Visit huntsville-isd.org. It's a great day to be a Hornet. We're building champions, everyone, every day.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network as we are just about ready to get the ensuing kickoff underway. 140 left to go in the Merskies Cafe fourth quarter. And Huntsville will have the ball last to end their season. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. Luke Scott down on the sideline as a pooch kick will start the return on a bounce at the 26-yard line for Huntsville. Trying to go to the far sideline, but not letting them do that. The big stop, Javion Bob, the sophomore linebacker, gets the stop, and that is where Huntsville will set up on their own 31.
Yeah, Jacob Ruffin, number 7, the sophomore safety, takes the kick and just gets hammered about where he caught the football.
1:34 left to go here in the ballgame. Brian, why don't we go ahead and thank a couple more of our sponsors that help make this broadcast possible?
Absolutely. We want to thank Northside Baptist Church, growing people in Christ to reach others for Christ, and AB Squared Self-Storage Facility, your local go-to self-storage facility, and Copeland Family Dentistry, wonderfully made, and Hartfield Florists, personalizing your events since 1957.
Run up the gut. It's a good gain on the play of about 4, down to the 35-yard line. And it looks like, I believe, new quarterback in Marcus Lewis getting some snaps as the signal caller here in the final minute of the ball game. He'll take a shotgun snap, go to the far sideline. That one caught and then dropped by the intended target on the play there. Hunter Lorenz, a sophomore, second time he's been targeted tonight, and it's now 3rd down at 6.
Well, it was a nice throw by the new quarterback in there for the Hornets, right in the chest. You just got to hang on to the football.
Seen that a couple times from a few receivers here tonight. Just not able to hang on to the ball. Is this 3rd down play, run up the gut. Here's Lewis breaking across the 50 and tripped just past the 45 into Buffalo territory. What a big run there for the signal caller and Marcus Lewis.
Wow, Marcus Lewis takes a quarterback draw, and man, let me tell you, we talked about speed a while ago. That young man has speed also.
No huddle offense, 2 receivers to each side of the line of scrimmage, and a flag is called on the play. Let's see what they call it here. This might be on Huntsville, though. They'll call a false start.
Well, you know, it's kind of not surprising, really. You got so many new guys out there. You got your 3rd quarterback of the night out there. You know, those things are going to happen.
So I'll back him up to the Buffalo 48-yard line. 35 seconds left to go in the Merskies Cafe fourth quarter. Handoff here on 1st down and about 15. Run to the outside, push out of bounds near the 40-yard line. And on the run there, I believe.
Is that Tyler Pomeroy?
It might be.
Number 26. Man, you know, if it was him, in fact, which it obviously looks like his number, right? It was a heck of a run and a strong punishing run, and I love to see you lay the hits on the defenders.
Like you said, it was Pomeroy. As the hit from behind on Lewis, ball falls to the ground, but Huntsville does recover it. As Lewis was gearing for a deep pass, he was getting ready to unload off his back foot. And I think they may just take it to the sidelines here. We'll see what happens as they mark it. Actually, a timeout was called, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it was, and you got 9 seconds left in this ball game.
Wonder, it doesn't look like Huntsville took it. I believe it was, in fact, Fort Bend Marshall that took it. Their first shot. There's only been 2 timeouts called this entire game, and both have been by the Buffaloes.
Well, you know, the funny thing is about broadcasting, and I've learned over my tenure doing this,
right,
is you got to be careful when you talk about the speed of which the game is going.
You know? I've made that mistake way too many times.
Yeah, I learned my lesson too. So I think we're safe to say with 9 seconds left, this is probably your last play.
3rd down and 12. Hornets looking for a good play on their final one of the season. Lewis looking for it all, and that one incomplete. It'll stop the clock with 3 seconds left to go. Intended target on the play there was Noah Nieto. It'll make it 4th down and 12, and, you know, Huntsville, why not go for it?
Yeah, why not? You know what? Nieto was on the far side, runs a go route. The ball was just a little bit underthrown. He was well covered, knocks the ball away. And with 3 seconds left, now I'm pretty sure this will be your last play.
2 receivers to each side of the line of scrimmage. Ball on the 45-yard line on the Buffalo side of the 50. Lewis takes a couple steps back, has some pressure on him, still escapes the pocket, now throws to his left, but it goes out of play, and that will do it for the ball game for this one and for the season for the Huntsville Hornets. 56-0. The final score. Fort Bend Marshall avenges their first-round loss from last season and takes care of business at home, quote-unquote, in this bi-district round matchup. Huntsville ends their season on a scoreless ball game. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, the AB Squared Self-Storage Facility post-game show, where we'll break down the second half, but we'll keep it here for just a second as Luke is about to get head coach for the interview. Actually, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break for about 60 seconds, and then we'll come back for the interview right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
You might know that State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has great service. She has been your good neighbor agent for 35 years after all. But did you know that State Farm has surprisingly great rates too? Yep, that's right. Along with good neighbor service, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes has surprisingly great rates for everyone in Walker County. So call State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes at 936-295-2686 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hi, I'm Karen Denman with Walker County Federal Credit Union, and it's the time for Texans to enjoy the great outdoors. If you're in the market for a newer used RV or ATV, call or come by Walker County Federal Credit Union and find out how you can hit the open road or even the road less traveled. We have low rates, refinancing available, and you can even apply online if you'd like. Or you can drop by our office on Normal Park Drive, and we'll be happy to help you in person. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Back here at Leroy Crump Stadium, 56-0. The final score is Huntsville falls victim in the first round of the playoffs in the bi-district round. They got a lot to work on heading into the next year. But again, we talked about it, Brian, as we welcome you to the AB Squared Self-Storage post-game show. This is a learning year. This is a learning year for this program. They exceeded expectations by many by getting to the postseason. And this is a good year to build off of regardless of what happened here tonight.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, it's been it was a season going in that, everyone knew that the Huntsville Hornets were going to be a very young ball club. And, I mean, you just tonight alone, just the 3 freshmen we called out, for example. And but that all being said, they had some great moments this season, against Brian Vikings. And again, last week against Randall, coming back from behind and just turning it around like they did last week to get into the playoffs, monumentous, because you did not think the Hornets were going to get to the playoffs. And, the Hornets traditionally are a powerhouse. They never want to squeak in to the playoffs in the 4th seed like they did this year. They like to go in the top dogs and typically like they used to. However, it was a great learning moment for them tonight. They're going to take a lot away from this ball game. And Jordan, as you said, and Carlos says, coming into the next several years for the Hornets, they are going to be an exciting football team.
Absolutely. This is going to be fun to watch over the next few years. And it really, you saw the offense be able to move the ball a little bit down the field in that second half. When Austin Taylor came in, they were able to, it seemed like, change the playbook a little bit to kind of spread things out a little bit. Obviously, you mentioned it, there was a good amount of underclassmen making some big plays throughout the entire ballgame, not just in garbage time in the second half, but throughout the entire ballgame, making some big plays. It's a good sign for the depth of this program, because that's something else, too, when you're trying to build a successful football team. You can have all the great starters you want. You're not going to win football games if you don't have that good depth of a team.
Absolutely. That's a great observation. And that's the thing the Hornets can hang their hat on and build upon coming into these next several years. Again, there's so much exciting things to talk about with Hornet athletics, not just football. I mean, you're talking baseball, softball, volleyball, the whole deal. And it is going to be a great time for Hornet sports coming up in the years to come. With that new stadium, again, man, that is going to be such a game changer for not only our town of Huntsville, but for playoff games between other teams, and the income this is going to bring into the community and into the high school is just tremendous.
Absolutely, it's gonna be something fun to watch. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this program moving forward. We'll go down the field in just a little bit as Coach Southern is finishing up his team talk with his squad before we head down for the post-game interview with Luke Scott. Here again, your final 56-0. Fort Bend Marshall taking care of business in round one, avenging last year's upset victory by Barbers Hill in this situation. Huntsville's got a lot to look forward to. They got a lot to learn. Obviously, like you said earlier, Brian, go look at the film, see what they could have done better. They'll get an entire off-season now to kind of work on that, take a break, and gear up for next year.
And these young guys, again, we're talking about their growth and what stage that they're growing at. And, and 15 years old is like one of the last opportunities to get that growth spurt. And some of these guys haven't even reached 15 yet.
Right.
That's just, man, it's hard to wrap your head around. But they are so talented that when you look at talent, you don't look at age, you look at the talent. And if the talent is deemed what is necessary, then put them in. And that's what the Hornets did. And they're going to benefit from that decision to play these young guys for years to come.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second break. And when we come back, we will have the interview with Luke Scott and head coach Rodney Souther on the other side of this break, right here in the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
AB Squared Self-Storage is your local go-to self-storage facility that can help give you the extra space you need, big or small. From non-climate and climate-controlled storage to parking spaces for your car, boat, trailer, and RV, they have it all. AB Squared Self-Storage has 24-hour computerized gate access, around-the-clock security camera monitoring, no long-term lease commitment, and convenient payment options. Give them a call today at 936-755-5000 or reserve your space online at www.ab2selfstorage.com.
Back here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, as we will send it down to the field with Luke Scott for a post-game interview with head coach Rodney Souther.
Thank you, Jordan, Coach. A 56-0 loss tonight, but I just want you to talk about this group and the season and the journey this team has really made this year.
Well, it's been probably one of the most up and down seasons that I've ever been a part of as a head coach, and this is 21 years. When you play as many sophomores and young, inexperienced kids, you're going to have some growing pains. We won some games we probably shouldn't have won. We probably lost a game or two that we probably shouldn't have lost. But, the opportunity tonight, the first kick of the game and to make some plays, and then, that got away from us in a hurry. But the other thing about this, 51 of these 69 guys got football experience tonight, and they're coming back. So the future is bright. Now, this is hard. It's hard when you lose, and it's hard when you lose like that. But, I didn't say a whole lot to them this week. I've known Coach Williams now for about 5 years, and I have the utmost respect for him and what they're doing as a program. And, and I told our kids a while ago, the difference with them and us right now is they're faster than we are. And obviously a senior versus a sophomore is a big difference. But they're faster, and they're the two-time defending 5A state champion in track. So those are things we've got to work on, and because these guys are not leaving the region, and we're probably not leaving the region either. So hopefully the two of us will meet again this time next year.
Coach, these two schools have so much history, and there at the end, you got to play a lot of the guys coming up from JV and freshmen. I want you to talk about what you saw there from a lot of your young guys.
Well, anytime you put a young guy in a game, whether it's against their starters or against their backups, it's playoff experience, and they don't get to feel that. I mean, even, some of our freshmen and obviously our JV won 8 games this year. Those kids played well, but they've never experienced that. And to be able to get that many of them that, and then, if they caught a ball or if they made a tackle or whatever it is, just the opportunity to get to play in a playoff games is a growing thing that we can use for next year.
Coach, we ask the players all the time after games and at the coaches show, any shout outs. I want to ask you if there's anyone you want to shout out after tonight.
Well, I would be not sure what word to use, but I'm sure my wife may be asleep by now. But obviously my wife's been, we've been through 33 years of this. She's been with me all the way through 21 years as a head coach. And our community, I think, knows that this was a tough year. We've got facilities coming. We've got our program in great shape. I'm disappointed that we didn't score some points. But other than that, I'm proud of these kids. I'm proud of our coaches. I'm proud of where the program is. And I know where it's going from here when the facilities happen, too.
Coach, a lot to look forward to. Personally, I want to thank you for everything you've given us. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
All right, thank you, Luke, with that post-game interview. Your work, as always this season, Luke, has been phenomenal. I want to thank you for your sideline reporting this year all season long. Luke, appreciate you throughout the year. As we're going to go ahead and take a quick 30-second break, and when we come back, we'll have our player of the game, and we'll wrap this season up for you right here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union and 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
AB Squared Self-Storage is your local go-to self-storage facility that can help give you the extra space you need, big or small. From non-climate and climate-controlled storage to parking spaces for your car, boat, trailer, and RV, they have it all. AB Squared Self-Storage has 24-hour computerized gate access, around-the-clock security camera monitoring, no long-term lease commitment, and convenient payment options. Give them a call today at 936-755-5000 or reserve your space online at www.ab2selfstorage.com.
It's the Hornet Nation postgame wrap-up on 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake. Brought to you by AB Squared Self-Storage. For final stats and analysis of tonight's game, let's return to the stadium with Jordan Smith and Brian Adams.
Back here on the AB Squared Self-Storage Facility post-game report. Hornets, their season ends tonight, 56-0, the final score at the hands of the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes. Jordan Smith here alongside me is Brian Adams. And, Brian, we take a look at who our player of the game is. You kind of look at, there wasn't really one player that stood out, but really it was the underclassmen as a group that really stood out in the ball game tonight. They had a few good plays on both sides of the ball. The starting running back in Trayshawn getting the big runs in the first couple drives before the defense was figuring that out. You had the underclassmen figuring things out late in the second half of the ball game as well. Just all around on both sides of the ball, the freshmen and sophomores really getting it done tonight.
Well, you know what? I agree with you 100%. And just to add to what head coach Rodney Southern was talking about, the future is very bright. And, again, to give these youngsters, I mean, yeah, again, man, just the thought of a 14-year-old out there running the ball, man, is just almost too much. But they were very talented, and we got to call several names of freshman kids that contributed in this ball game tonight in athletics and in football in particular. if you get to play some, that experience, it is one of the best things you can do for a youngster. Give them that experience. And that's what it was able to do tonight and basically for most of the year. So there are so many good things, but before I, kind of give it back to you, Jordan, my hat is off to the head coach for Fort Bend Marshall. I mean, they got just some absolutely phenomenal athletes, and they've been that way since this is the third time as we talked about playing them, and they are just so good. And so my hat is off to Coach James Williams and his whole staff and those players. They did it really well. Again, the Hornets, be proud of what they've done. They didn't want to end it like this. Nobody would. But the things they learned from this ballgame tonight, Jordan, will be invaluable moving forward.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, too. The experience helps tremendously, not just with the fact that when you get back there, you already understand the situation. You already understand the pressure. You're able to handle that as well when it comes to that point in next year, the years to come. But also, it makes you hungry for more. It makes you hungry for more opportunities to get back to the postseason. It makes them work that much harder during the offseason and during next year's play to try to get back to the playoffs and have that same feeling again.
Yeah, exactly. And if we could for a second, let me talk about obviously it's about these young kids, but I want to tell you a little bit of experience I had coming up through the ranks as a Hornet. Yes, I was a freshman Hornet quarterback. We had a great season as freshmen. I got bumped up as a sophomore to varsity, but I only got to play in 2 quarters my whole sophomore year. Now, you're looking at guys, freshmen and sophomores, who have played multiple games.
Right.
Every snap. It is going to be such a big deal for them as they get bigger, more mature, and stronger, and come back next year. This Hornet football team is going to be somebody to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. We want to shout out the senior class as well. Obviously, being able to at least get back to the postseason and at least play one more game in their final season. Congrats to them. Obviously, a season that was unexpected by many. They beat the odds, got to the postseason, and showed what this Hornet program is really all about. Is we want to thank our sponsors all season long, and here in the postseason, of course, this season being brought to you by First National Bank. Our countdown to kickoff and Advantage Specialties. Our Southern Talk with Charlie's Used Cars starting lineup brought to you by Walker County Federal Credit Union. Our Hornets halftime show from Northside Baptist Church here in the post-game wrap-up with AB Squared Self-Storage Facility. A couple of sponsors we didn't get to tonight. The scoring drive recap from Hit Solutions. Quarterback sacked by Hartfield Flores. The Hornets first down. Got a few of those. Shout out to Moke and Moke Attorneys at Law. The Hornets extra point from Nelson Amaya's Collision Center. The Red Zone sponsor, which you got to a few times tonight, Murray Insurance and Financial Services. The Hornets kickoff by Climate Tech Secure Storage, as well as the Hornets hard hit by Frank Oliveira's Realtor. The Hornets timeout by University Heights Baptist Church. And, of course, Walker County Federal Credit Union, of course, providing the action as well First National Bank. And our quarter sponsors, the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club in the first, the second quarter, brought to you by Diana K. Barnes State Farm Insurance Agent. Third quarter by Whataburger, and the fourth quarter by Mirsky's Cafe. Y'all have been tremendous in helping us support what we do here to provide a spotlight, because the biggest thing with these broadcasts, one, it allows us to, kind of get on the air, talk about these guys. But the main deal is it showcases these players. And that's what we do this for, is to showcase the athletes, showcase the staff, and showcase what it is that this program is all about.
I couldn't agree more. And since Rodney Southern came in 9 years ago, he turned the program absolutely around a 180 degrees, because it was very down at the time he came in. And when he came in, I don't know if you're even aware of this or not, Jordan, when he came in, he had 15 underclassmen out of a football team that should have 65, 75 plus.
Right.
That's how many kids showed up the first day of offseason in the weight room, just 15 kids. From that point 9 years ago to being in the regionals, almost having a trip to state a couple of times.
Right.
Not just once, but a couple of times.
Right.
To getting into the playoffs here tonight, that is one heck of a statement about your athletic director and head coach Rodney Southern and his staff and what they've done with this program. And I tell you what, the Hornets are lucky to have those guys. Great football knowledge, great coaches, and again, disappointing tonight. But again, a lot of kids got to play that haven't gotten to play all year long, and at this varsity level, because this is 5A, Texas high school football, this is Friday Night Lights, man. This is the real deal, and you can only imagine a 14-year-old what he's feeling in his first playoff game. Unbelievable.
Right. Exactly. That's the name of the game. In the Lone Star State, there's nothing better than Texas high school football. Well, I would say we look ahead to next week. Unfortunately, there is no next week. This is the end for this season. We will have one more Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We'll provide updates as far as times and days as we get closer to that next week. But for now, this is it for us on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network for this football season. Brian, any final thoughts before we sign this one off?
You know what? Yes. I want to tell you, it has been a pleasure for me to work with Carlos and to work with you tonight, Jordan. It has been an absolute pleasure for me. It is exciting for me. It's exciting to watch these kids grow and develop, and also watch us broadcasters grow and develop. It's been an exciting year for me.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun covering this Huntsville Hornets squad, defying the odds, getting to the postseason. We'll look for them to do that again next season. That does it for the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. Again, special thanks to our sideline reporter and Luke Scott. And, of course, my main man right here in Brian Adams. Shout out to Carlos Zimmerman. Couldn't be here with us tonight, but we were thinking about you all game long. And you'll have a good team to come back to next season, Carlos. That is for sure. That's going to do it for the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network. Also, special thank you to Houston Hardcastle back at the flagship at 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake. Thank you for your work as well, back running the dials. That'll do it for us from A-Leaf. Once again, the final score, Fort Bend Marshall 56, Huntsville 0, as the Hornets end their season in the first round of the playoffs. For everybody here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network, my name is Jordan Smith saying good evening, good night, and always remember, friends, sting 'em Hornets.
This has been the Hornets postgame wrap-up, brought to you by AB Squared Self-Storage. Thank you for listening and supporting your Huntsville Hornets. This has been a special presentation of the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network on 94.1 and 104.9 The Lake.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it has to be El Gordo Taqueria. You'll experience the absolute best real Mexican food. El Gordo Taqueria has plates. Also, check out their new deck. Dine in or carry out, now available. Delivery to you from DoorDash and Grubhub. Open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And now open Sunday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. For the absolute best authentic Mexican food in Huntsville, it's El Gordo Taqueria. Call us at 295-TACO. That's 295-8226. Try it once and you'll be hooked. El Gordo Taqueria.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Texas, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
The Whataburger Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger is an all-time favorite. It brings so many flavors together in harmony, you might wonder if it's greater than the sum of its parts. It's got 2 all-beef patties, both of which fantastic. Crispy bacon, love that. Grilled onions, melty cheese. I mean, who would say no? And sweet and spicy pepper sauce. Yes, please. I guess we're kind of partial to every part. The Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger from Whataburger, just like you like it. Order online to earn rewards.
I'm Jerry Larson at Reliable Auto Parts, your auto parts plus store in Huntsville, Texas, having great products, excellent quality, and outstanding prices. This is what you can expect from Reliable Parts, where you can purchase all your car care products, maintenance supplies, and auto parts. Our services and in-house store offerings are designed to keep your vehicle and motorized machine in proper working condition. Reliable Parts, your auto parts store, 1011 11th Street, Huntsville, 295-5747.
Hey folks, it's Steven over here at Adams Furniture. We're your Huntsville, Texas hometown furniture store. Come in and see why we carry the top brands with great customer service. We carry brands such as Tempur-Pedic, Sealy Hybrid, Serta mattresses. We have the biggest selection of Lazy Boy recliners, double reclining sofas, reclining love seats. We have all American-made hardwood bedroom furniture, living room furniture, all American-made lift chairs. All this is in stock and ready for delivery at Adams Furniture. We are cheaper in the country. Shop local with us and save your money. That's Adams Furniture, 30 State Highway, 75 North and 10th Street.
Merski's Cafe in New Waverly is open for breakfast at 7:30 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Get a great start to your day. Chicken fried steaks, chicken fried chicken, and hamburger steaks, or go lighter with salads. Go for Taco Tuesday and Fish Fridays. Lunch starts at 11. Private dining room or catering available. Dine in, curbside pickup, or to-go orders. 936-439-5039. Merski's Cafe in New Waverly, 315 FM 1375. Check them out on Facebook. Home of the world-famous Hootie Burger and proud supporters of the Hornets and Bulldogs.
Hello, this is Carol Sullivan with Community Service Credit Union. You know how much I love rodeo and helping rodeo contestants and their families. If you're thinking about that truck or trailer of your dreams, keep CSCU in mind. We'll work with you to get a payment you can afford from a financial institution you can trust. Visit cscutx.com and apply online today. Bank happy, spend smart, live well. CSCU. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership required. Certain restrictions apply.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Texas. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.